conditioner for?
Third world
Wait till
country.
you guys are sweating and I'm sitting in my cool refrigerated room. That's all I gotta say. And then
I'm
I'll be
sitting here
laughing at
freezing my
all of
arse
you
off.
while
Freeze
I
off.
live in luxury, air-conditioned beautifulness.
AC is as someone born in a quasi-southern state, AC is a human right.
Right.
Well,
I
you know
think
what?
this
You
is
know
where
what
it
we
comes from.
Northerners think to that. Ha. Hey.
Well, you guys, it's never warm. It's
getting
never
a bit
warm in
hot.
the north.
Oh.
You guys don't have weather. You're just
Might
like
have to roll my
California.
sleeves up,
You're
love.
just like California. You have one temperature all year round and it goes up and down like 20, 30 degrees. Here
Oh,
it will
mighty
get
lad.
negative 40 in the winter and it'll get 105 in in the summer. So yeah.
They're not real temperatures. If it was 105,
Oh,
you'd all be
that's
boiling.
All right, let me
It's
find
105
That's
Fahrenheit.
above boiling
He's
point.
talking- He's talking Fahrenheit.
I know he's talking something.
something.
He's talking about Fahrenheit.
These
You know
motherfuckers,
Celsius.
these
He's talking
motherfuckers
Fahrenheit.
invent the imperial system. We
Yes.
use it.
And then say
They
that's
change.
absurd.
They change what they do,
Yes.
and we're the asshole. You know, this is
You're the
typical.
only country that does it. The only country that still has the
Only?
imperial system.
Only
Yeah.
Two
Yeah.
others, I think.
there's two others.
Liberia and Burma.
No, it's worse.
Go on.
I think it's Afghanistan.
Yeah, it doesn't get to negative 40 in California. Well, it might do in the desert in winter. It gets very cold.
No,
in
not
the
that
desert.
cold.
Actually, a northerner is more likely to want AC if they go down south. I was raised up north and got used to being freezing all the time. Hot is just painful. So there you go. You got a bit of love coming in there, Scott. From
Thank
the
you,
chat.
guys. You know, again, when they're complaining, bloody hell, it's so hot up here. I don't know.
When
maybe
have you ever heard me
kidding.
complain about the heat? Like ever?
Yeah, I'd also like to point out that is like the #1 British pastime. So
What, complain about the weather? No,
Yes.
but this is because of climate change. Britain is going to get colder.
Listen,
I know it's just
Not yet.
opens up so many topics of conversation.
I
for
would
us.
like-
You
I
don't
would-
want to buy an AC. You want to buy a bar.
I
heater?
need all of you to
Mike,
bend
bring it
over
back.
and be
me?
spanked because you all just
What?
yelled at me and you're some
Yeah.
assholes. And here's why. Guess
Go
what
on,
the
why?
convergence point is for Celsius and Fahrenheit?
minus minus 28.
Minus 40, which is what
Minus
I
40.
said. So it
I was about
was
to say
right.
that.
It was the correct one, but it only happened because there's like that on the chart
Is that the
where
convergence point? I thought it
it's
was minus
negative.
28.
It's negative 40. So
Oh, it makes it
booyah
40.
in your fucking face. I accidentally
I
got it
didn't argue
right.
with you about this.
Oh, well,
so I don't need
well
to bend
done.
over for you, Mikey. Okay.
And then what's
I'm
the
gonna
Wi-Fi?
have my little animation that comes up and says, "I was wrong and I accept responsibility." There you go.
And
It's gonna hold us good.
105 is 40.5 degrees Celsius. So it's
I
in the,
remember.
so
from when I
negative
used
40 to
do-
40. If you guys
when I
had
used
that
to-
weather, go
When I
ahead.
used to do the weather, when I used to do the weather on the radio every morning in Bocas when I lived there, I remember that 28 degrees Celsius was the same as 82 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh, the
Just switch the
reciprocals.
numbers around.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I had to get both because there were so many Yanks there and they wouldn't understand Celsius. It's too complicated for them.
It took me years.
So let me
It's too
ask you
sensible.
this, Mike and Ollie. What would you do at negative 40 to plus 40 temperatures in your home? You get an
Turn on the
AC
aircon.
and a heat, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you?
I would wonder why I was living in America.
I'd
all of a
move.
sudden.
Oh, I just
Were
opened
they-
the window.
I
Yeah.
just open window, let air in.
Open window.
I'd crack the window open 7/8 of an inch.
Wait a
The
minute. Did he
Americans
just
can
say an inch?
understand.
He did. He did.
I'm about
How many
7 inches
microns
an
is that?
Yeah, but do you hit someone with a 2x4 or do you hit them with a 4.7 centimeter by 10 centimeter? Do you? Questionable obscenity is £5 super chat. Thank you so much. London is also getting hotter because of all the energy they use keeping cool. AC heats up the outside and underground trains heat up the ground. So there you go.
folks,
You're
Scott.
actually
I don't
making
care.
it hotter.
I don't
American
care
coming
about-
over here,
It's just-
destroying our environment, cutting
Yeah.
down our trees.
Anyway, y'all cut
It's
down
really-
that what's it called tree
eating
and
our
had a
foxes.
whole thing about it. Jen Dead City says, as a Floridian, I am divesting y'all's rights to talk about warmth ever again. And she might have a point.
She does.
She has the
Like, it's
patent
real
on
hot,
being
but-
hot all the time.
I think you'll
Yeah.
find that Panama is a lot closer to the equator than Florida is.
But it's got that Florida funk. It's got the Everglades. You know what I'm saying? That's that extra humidity.
Well, I live in
Terrible.
Bocas del Toro. It's technically a rainforest.
You got
Talk to me about humidity. It's 100%.
you got swamps over there.
Meters of rain a year.
You got swamps over
Sorry?
there.
I guess so. I don't know.
Ollie
I'd
lives
like
in
to advance
Yorkshire.
once again. This is why Yorkshire is the best place in the world.
Because of all
Not
the
only is
swamps.
it not too hot, it's not too cold. We have no poisonous animals or creatures of any kind. We have marshes.
Not
no
yet.
swamps.
Vexatias.
We're fine. We're perfect.
You have reform voters.
Those are
Well,
vicious.
Those are
swamps.
monsters.
I was
We've got
born
that
in
big red
cardboard
wall.
box in middle of swamp.
We all
David
can't be Shrek.
Drury. David, thank you very much for joining the channel. If you want to be like David and join the channel, all you need to do is press the join button and become a member, and you get a little star. Not a star, you get a rose. You get a little rose after your name. Florida isn't just hot; it's humid, says Chris C.
Yes. But that's what's been happening here. So
You
in
wanna
London,
agree.
when it gets hot, it gets humid as well.
Mm. By the way, you know the rose, the Politics Social Rose.
The Kiss from
that
a
was
Rose.
Designed. That was designed by Scott Jones, who did the cover art for loads of bands, including the Arctic Monkeys. You know the famous picture of the guy with the cigarette on the
No.
front cover of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
first
He
album.
drew that.
That was Scott took that picture in
Oh,
the
he did.
Corova bar in Liverpool, which sadly isn't there anymore. But yeah,
Who was the guy?
a mate of Scott's. I don't know. It was a mate of the band's actually. It was a mate of Alex from the band.
He never
True
existed,
story.
Scott.
No,
What?
what?
He was
But
a-
there- so
he
everyone
was
who
a
gets that little
ghost. He died
logo
100
next to
years
their
ago.
Name. That's a class logo. That's a proper design logo. Wasn't just me on Photoshop dicking around, which is most of the stuff that I do. We got. I was going to read what Angry Pagan said because it was all in capitals, and then he deleted it, so I can't read it now. Hayden Pud says, "I've got up half an hour before I had to go to bed. I
love
no,
Tesla."
That's awful. Sorry, but you're here now." Chris C claims that Yorkshire is God's own country. I've got a Welsh nephew who says that about North Wales. I think that Yorkshire and North Wales need to have a fight over who is God's
Don't
own country.
Don't the Americans think that America is God's country as well?
Have you
Oh,
seen?
The
yeah.
Israelis think
have-
that Israel's God's
Well,
country.
no,
Have you
it's-
seen
it's
it?
God's county. we are the best county.
God's county. So it's God a Yorkshireman. You
God's
get up
own
to
county.
you get up to see God, and he sounds like Sean fucking
I'm not.
Bean. Is that?
I'm not
all
gonna.
right, lad.
I'm not gonna lie. On occasion, Ollie, your head gets just right, and that thing gives you big old ears, and I cannot help but laugh a little bit. It's like because if you get like in on it, and this makes like cartoon.
Prince Charles.
Yeah.
Prince Charles ears.
True, it's true.
I was like, why does he have ears on behind? Oh, it's a flower. Of course, it's a flower.
Ollie, we have a question for you from One Angry Pagan. Which God?
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
question.
Is it one of the good ones? One of the bad ones?
Well,
One of the fun ones?
we were in the Danelaw
Yes.
originally.
Hey, MH,
Could be Loki.
Billy.
We were
Odin,
part
the
of Mercia,
Yep.
and Northumbria, bits
Oh
and
my
pieces.
God.
Bit of rivalry.
I saw that on
You're
Some of the
Vikings.
best
South-
cricket teams in.
You're south of the Humbria. How could you be Northumbria?
Well, that's
does
how
that
far
work?
extended.
Wow. So
I
the
remem-
north of the Humber extended all the way down
Yeah, we're
south.
talking about the Kingdom of Northumbria.
Very confusing.
God.
Did anyone see? Did anyone see that show Vikings?
Yeah, I loved
What-
it.
How accurate was all that stuff? I feel like some of it. I feel like a
was
lot
not
of like.
Very.
I feel like a lot of the like the interpersonal stuff was like completely made up. But like kind of like the people coming over during those time periods, is that even
God,
correct?
that's
Yeah.
real.
Yes, the Vikings did come over.
They did settlements on
quite aggressively.
Yeah.
Quite a few times.
Yeah, they came to visit the monasteries quite a bit. Made,
Including-
made a
They
lot of
love stacking the
withdrawals.
monarchies.
Including arguably the Normans, who were actually Northmen. They were Vikings that lived in
French
France.
Vikings,
and
yeah.
They were the last Vikings to come and get us.
Yeah, and they took over William the Conqueror, and they've been in charge ever since. Him
Yep.
and his mates' families have been running the country.
Damn, y'all lost to the
4,000
Vikings. That's
fucking
crazy.
years.
Losing the Vikings, I can imagine.
Samuso 86, thank you very much for the super chat, my friend. I've got the game is someone says Klexic, and guess who left the EU? I don't know, but the currency is PLN. What's a PLN?
That's
Oh,
a
is that
plan.
Polish.
No, that'd be a zloty. That would be a Z, wouldn't it?
Oh, PLN.
It's a plan.
Filipino. No idea. I'm quite
Parsley,
intrigued now.
lemon pepper,
Parsley.
nutmeg.
Let's see what Google has to say about PLN.
One Angry Pagan says the Vikings TV show sped up the timeline. Okay.
Oh, it is
Yes.
Polish zloty. It is Polish zloty. I don't know why it's P. It should be.
It should be listened to more.
It should be
often.
PLZ, shouldn't it?
Sorry, Scott. Did you say something?
Yeah, right.
Sorry.
Yeah, but it says N. It
And then when
doesn't
everyone
say
hears me,
Z.
they go, "No, you're wrong."
I wish somebody had said
No, but I
something
thought
about
that
that
was-
earlier. It would have saved a lot.
Remember
of
my
Well, you
negative
hear me, it's,
4.
No, you're wrong. Shut up.
Remember that
And
negative.
when I do say something, it gets repeated 5 minutes later, like it was just said for the first time.
Do you know what? What's funny is when I say something, it gets repeated like 5 minutes later, just like I said.
Oh my god, it's so lucky.
It's so
By the way, Graham,
annoying.
I think PLN is probably Polish zloty. I think
How is it slotty though?
Yeah,
Slotty
it's just-
begins with a Z.
it's just come to me.
It begins with a Z. Why is it an N? I don't understand. Why was it given that code? Because there can't be another country that has PLZ. That's not a currency.
It means please, Graham, and that would be confusing. Don't you
It's not like
text?
the Polish use a different. If you put PLZ currency, it comes up with. Do you mean PLN? There you go. 10 Polish zloty. Thank you very much, Samuso, for that. That's very kind of you. And Charles Stanhope has just dropped a tenner in. Thank you, Charles. As
Into the
for Darren Crimes, oh god, what he wants to have a £200,000
council leader.
Farage statue in Durham. Wanted
that
as
true?
a reminder for all the dumb refuck voters of what they voted for. P.S.
That
Ollie
cannot
is
be
right.
true.
Yorkshire is God's own country. I was born there. And obviously Charles Stanhope is God. So there you go, mate. It is God's own country. You were right all along. The important thing is that Ollie was right and Scott was wrong.
Did you
does
feel
he
the
really
kick down
want a
there, Scott?
sculpture?
Did you feel that when he kicked you while you were down?
I'm
Did you
all
feel the
right.
kick?
It's okay. It's okay.
Don't worry, Scott. You need to come up north, and then you'll always be right.
I've been up north before, and I'm good.
Up north. Scott,
He
are
came
you
north,
are
came
you
rushing back down again?
are you thinking of going to
Screaming down the
Colchester?
highway.
Are you going to Colchester for Skunk and Nancy and the
It
Smashing
is a
Pumpkins?
big, huge, massive possibility. Yes, I've been meaning to get a ticket. So yeah,
Okay, well, if you go, I might go.
because it's gonna be Tan and Hannah. So
Yeah,
yeah, and
we can find a park bench to
okay.
sleep on, can't we?
well, no, I think we can all crash at Tan's.
Can we? Can we?
I think
Though?
so.
we're just inviting ourselves round on
Tan, we're
national
staying
TV. Hello.
Maybe Tan will have something to say about
Me
it.
and Graham are sharing a bed.
Greg, $5 US. Thank you so
Greg.
much. No, Graham, they said this panel was full of God's own. And just left it.
Oh, yeah, it's about
Mm.
right. That's about right. But yo, Skunk and Nancy. Actually, the funnily enough, my new Skunk and Nancy album, which you can see in the background, arrived today. I'm very excited.
Ooh, that
It's
is
right
very
there.
exciting.
Yes, it's all right. It's not...
So I need to
the
have a business card. Say Graham Hughes, God's special little. See you next Tuesday. What do you reckon?
Yeah, definitely.
That's going to be good on a business card. There you go.
So I heard today that Trump is going to give away his Tesla.
Tesla.
Because he
I'll
loves
play it.
Tesla.
Tesla. No, you won't give it
Tesla.
away. You won't
Yeah,
give it away.
apparently
Give
he's
it
gonna
away.
give it
Give it away
away.
now. He'll sell it. He'll sell it to some
But now
little
he's gonna give it
fucking
away.
crypto nepo baby. He's going to
Didn't the
buy
White
it for
House buy it?
$19 million because they
Time
want
out,
to
time-
Trump.
Time out. Y'all think he paid for it?
He
Stop.
didn't think that.
Stop. of course he
Nobody
did.
didn't
didn't
pay
pay
for
for
it.
it.
White
Into
House
it.
buy it. I'm
It was
sure they
never.
did.
It was never purchased.
No money was.
It's just
lost.
been parked over there, and now he's gonna like tell them not to park it over there. He doesn't
I
buy
just wonder if he's
anything.
gonna like do a sweepstakes. 'Cause that's very American.
I will
Like,
give you
get a bunch
one
of people
Trump
to mail
coin
in.
if you
or,
can guess.
Yeah, if you can guess how many MAGA hats are in this stack of hats, you can win.
Buy a
my
lottery
Tesla.
ticket, and you can win this Tesla.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
it's
That will
America
is at its
Red.
best. And each ticket will cost $5.
We've had an explanation of why it's N rather than Z for Polish zlotys because it's the new zloty. So when I
Ah.
first went to Poland in 1990, like it was the exchange rate was something like £1 to every, I don't know, it was something like 10,000. It was like 10,000 zloty. So you could be a slotty millionaire for like 100 quid or something. It was kind of crazy. You had to like be very careful when paying for taxis and things because if you didn't count the number of noughts on the bank notes,
You mean zeros?
End up, yeah.
Okay.
You could end up giving someone a 50 quid tip instead of a fiver. What? Sorry, Mikey. What was that? You don't say naught in America. You never use that.
I do. He's being pedantic.
What are you talking about? It's a zero. And the
Scott
letter
and
Z.
Graham.
You know.
Can I just point out that Joanna is offering you 2 sofas in Colchester if you need them?
Oh, thanks, Susanna.
In a
There you go.
sandwich. Just
Joanna
them
Joanna
together.
Hammond.
Scott just wants one.
Yeah, Joanna, keep,
Both of us.
Scott's like, keep the rest.
asking if you could just get rid of
I
one
want
of the
I want
sofas.
a spoon. I want a spoon with Graham.
Take one of those sofas up your ass, yeah? I just need the
I
one.
want a spoon. I'll be the little spoon. I want a grand cuddle.
Susanna's going to be like, what the fuck? What am I doing inviting these guys?
Joanna, I've got to get this right. It's
Joanna,
Joanna Hammond offering
Joanna.
you.
Thank you, Joanna. That's very
That's
kind
really
of
sweet.
you.
Thank you.
He's going to
Charles-
get Graham crackered.
Graham crackers. Bum-bum-bunch.
That's
Charles
y'all's word. I
Stano,
don't say that.
£5 super chat. Oh my God, was that thing parked in the White House a car? I thought it was a skip. Very good, Charles. Thank you very much. And also, Greg has put £5 in there. PLN came after we got new denomination in 1995. Before it was PLZ. N in the end stands for new, as in new Polish zloty. So there
Is
you
there-
go. We have
the word
between us and our audience, we've solved the mystery. Sorry, Mike.
So
is the word new in Polish spelt with an N?
Yes, it's NU.
Is it?
I don't know. I have no
NU.
fucking- Probably.
so
Okay.
I
Well,
have
you
a
sounded authoritative.
I have a dissenter in the bin chat that is very likely going to get banned for life for agreeing with the Brits. Naught and Zed are objectively more fun. They've got us on that one. Do you want to get deported? What is this? What is it? What is going on right now?
Deported.
How dare you agree with them that their silly words are better than our boring plain words? Supposed to have my back.
Yeah, the word for in Polish for new is
Nove.
nove.
Everyone's volunteering to get deported. No, you assholes are stuck here. Actually, no one's getting deported. Everyone's like, get me out of here.
Did you see Steve Bannon asking for Musk to be deported?
Hysterical. That's what happened
yes.
after we went off the air last
Oh,
night.
I want him to. That would be so beautiful.
Oh,
and then he
that's
gets taken
funny.
to South Africa,
Yes,
and then
yes,
he's
yes, yes,
deported,
yes,
and
yes,
everyone
yes,
in
yes.
South Africa fucking hates him, and he's forced to work
yes.
on a farm owned by a black person.
Perfect.
Fucking, that's
Yes.
it.
This is
Shoveling
going
shit.
the farms that was
Shoveling
left.
shit for this. It's like, 10 years later, a documentary finder, like a documentary maker finds him, and
Finds
he's
him
there,
his
and he's
brother.
literally shoveling shit, and that's his job. And he just
Remember when
spends
I
his
had
whole
the
time
chainsaw?
crying and looking all sketchy
I
because he's
used
all
to
on
build
drugs.
Chainsaw here
rockets, you
too.
know. I used to build rockets.
I just smell rockets in the sky, man.
I
They
used
all
to-
fucking blew up.
I used to
Shut
give
up and
people.
shovel your shit.
He's just like handing people pebbles he finds in the shit piles, and he's like, "These are emeralds. I give away emeralds to make friends. Have emeralds." It's corn
Everyone says,
and people's
don't
shit.
make eye contact with the Musk, the Musk fella.
The musk.
They got his
Don't
dad
look
on
at the
LBC
musk.
earlier.
I was gonna say,
Who had nothing,
yeah,
had
Scott,
nothing to say.
his dad, who is a paedophile, his dad who groomed his own stepchild, his stepdaughter, from the age of 3, and then got with her when she was
That's
18.
why he likes
He's
Trump.
had 2 children with her.
That's why he
That
likes
is
Trump.
That's grooming. How is that different from grooming? How is that different from a teacher doing the same thing to a kid in their school?
No, it's
Wait
That
until
has
they're
been
18.
that has been like an epidemic lately, and it's female teachers sleeping with male students. And I'm like, why is this like the 15th case this school year that we've heard of teachers sleep? Like, what the? Yo,
I think-
you
I think
MAGA
because
dudes
when a
are.
woman does
women.
it, it's unusual, and that's why it gets into the press. Whereas a man does it, it's like, oh yeah, that's
No. Those
it's
the
normal.
the guys are getting reported too, but there's a lot of women all of a sudden, and I'm just like, MAGA dudes, are y'all so trash that the teachers are going after the students rather than the adult? Y'all got to get your game up. You can't even get the
Well,
teachers. Get your game up.
If the
Yeah, listen.
rates of domestic violence between Trump voters and Democrat voters, it's a gulf. Like if you go out with a Republican male, you are way more likely to be abused.
And they wonder
In a
why
way
the
that you
women
don't
know
like.
And I wonder why women don't want to date them because of their political views.
Because they're psychos.
Well, it's probably because they don't want to die.
Yeah,
Because they're
Um,
cancelled.
fucking assholes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Their whole
So,
belief system's based on you being an asshole.
but you know, this thing like, oh, well, you can't not dating someone because of their political beliefs. So that I'm like,
It's the most obvious thing in the
fuck
world.
would you date someone who didn't think that trans people are people? You know,
I would
what
never
the
date a
fuck?
Tory. I'd fuck a Tory, but I wouldn't date him.
Look, I just believe in
You
you.
hate fuck them.
I just believe in eugenics and mass deportation. Why can't we just like be friends? Because you're fucking crazy
Because you're
pants.
deporting people.
This
You
isn't
but
like
we don't
a
have to talk
disagreement
Because
about
you're a
it.
fascist.
Yeah, we can
this,
just ignore it. You know, politics doesn't have to get in the way of our
This isn't,
relationship.
this isn't a you know, we're just arguing about economic policy or something. This is about ethics.
Human lives,
This is about
Morality.
lives. This is yeah.
empathy.
I mean, it's like saying, would you date someone who's a serial killer? No.
no,
No.
they don't own
Oh,
empathy.
well, you
Well, no,
just
they're
say
not-
it against serial killers.
well,
They
they're
need-
not-
Probably not.
They need love
Probably
too.
not twice. I wouldn't go on a second date.
I'm not
I'm the
not
first, and If I
paying.
got through that, I'd be out.
I'm not gonna pay for the date because if I do get serial killed and I paid for it, that's not no.
I'm
not going out like
I've been
that.
murdered and I'm poor.
Lose situation.
I'm going
But
out
imagine if you
broke.
got turned down for the second date. Like the serial
I
killer's like, I'm
know.
sorry, but your skin's not soft enough for me.
You didn't quite meet the criteria.
He's out there with the measuring tape. Huh? Nothing.
Yeah, you just didn't quite. Yeah, it was I just certain criteria for my
Yeah, it-
killings, and you just don't meet it. You're
I
just not
don't know
tall
that.
enough.
I don't know if I could stretch it. You know, so I'd rather just
Yeah.
Yeah.
not risk it because if I split it, what was this
Your
for?
Does-
Eyes. I've been
does-
looking into your eyes, and I can't quite imagine the life
owning
draining
them.
out of them as I throttle you.
McKinnon says literally
Imagine, like, them
every.
being on the mantelpiece. They're not that attractive.
Mc-
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
McKinnon says
Blue
literally
Badger's
everyone.
saying-
Oh, hold on one sec. Literally everyone's saying politics shouldn't get in the way of their friendship. Always are the ones with fucking psycho beliefs. It's always.
Yes.
It's never the normal
It's like
people who are
saying,
like.
oh, the
They're
stack
always
of
the
dead
ones that are on
bodies
the
in my
right.
basement shouldn't get in.
Only
You know,
people on the
affect
right
Guy-
say this shit.
Guys, this is really controversial, but I think everybody should have health care. What? Get the fuck out of
How
my
dare
house!
you?
Get out! I think the kids should read and have like new books. You fucking get out of my house! And just fuck like
We
that
should
doesn't
give
happen.
kids free school meals. What do you mean we should feed children? I mean, it's
They're gonna
ridiculous.
eat?
I love the Tammy Badenoch today. We're gonna leave the ECHR like she's got some sort of power or something, right? And
She's the best.
and I'm just like, yeah, down with human rights. They suck.
Yeah.
Talking of dating psychos, you remember? Does anyone remember an '80s Fox
X Files.
cartoon show called The Critic?
Yeah.
Yes.
It wasn't that good, but there was one really good joke where they did a piss take of Misery, and so it was the same thing that happens to James Caan in Misery, and he gets abused by this nurse, and you know she's
nuts.
You don't have any Paul Sheldon
breaking his
books?
legs and stuff. And then you know at the end of the movie Misery, where he's in the restaurant and he sees Annie Wilkes coming towards him,
Yeah,
but it's
right.
the waitress. Well, in the Critic, it is actually her, and she comes down and sits there, and his publisher's there, and she's like, "What are you doing? Why are you seeing him again?" He's like, "It's really hard to get a date when you look like me."
Let's call her back
So
in.
yeah. Anyway, that was my favorite joke in the Critic.
That movie had many levels. It
What
really
Misery?
did.
Oh, it's fucking
Yes.
brilliant.
It's one of the
Absolutely brilliant.
best Stephen King adaptations ever.
It's up
Well,
there
it's
for
up
me.
there. With Stand By Me and Shawshank Redemption.
They're good too, but I loved Misery.
Misery
Absolutely.
was very good. Oh, you dirty little bird. You dirty
You
little,
dirty little birdie.
um,
The cockatootie.
yeah. Svak says, to be honest, depoliticized people also hold the view that politics shouldn't affect relationships.
That's
But it's-
bullshit. Because if
it's
you
not-
don't have a point of view, what are you?
Don't know. You could be sexy.
Yeah, it's
Hey.
great to be sexy, but if you got no brains behind it,
To be fair, I did
Sexy,
some-
why do you need brains?
I did
Well,
some door knocking in the
it
general
gets boring
election.
after a while. You got to talk to these people sometimes.
You
know
got to
what I mean?
talk eventually, haven't
That's
you?
why, that's why God invented Netflix. You just sit there in silence next to each other watching the telly.
Yeah, but then you got to choose something to watch, and that's when the argument
That's
starts.
when it all starts. Let's watch this documentary on politics. I don't like politics because
Right.
I don't understand it. It's just all too complicated for me. Okay, great. You're clearly the brain of Britain. I've really lucked out here. You're so fucking sexy that you're dumb.
Well, Mike, what were you going to say?
I don't know, because actually Scott just sent me off on a train of thought that I can't actually talk about, so I'm not
Oh
going to.
no!
Oh, I think you
Talk
should
about-
tell us everything about your dream.
I
It's not
I
gonna
want to
happen.
know.
Let me tell you about the time I dated an idiot who was also
I
a
did.
Tory voter and a serial
I
killer.
did actually date a Tory once. That was
Did you?
well, it was a mistake. I didn't mean to.
Did you break up with her when you found out that she was a Tory?
Yeah, we left the cinema. We went to see is it Blinded by the Light? The
V
one
for
that's,
Vendetta.
no, not Blinded by that. No, what's the film that
V for
with the
Vendetta.
Bruce Springsteen soundtrack, but it's set in Luton?
Philadelphia.
Anyway, I can't remember. But
Terminator 2.
It's about growing up. It was about growing up as a South Asian heritage family in Luton in the 1970s, and it was about the deprivation in Luton and the race,
Pluto Nash.
BNP, and all that, and poverty. And we left the cinema, and she said, "Well, it's a good job all that's sorted out now. Now Boris is in charge." Basically, and I just looked at her and thought, "Oh God, we haven't
Gotta
talked about
go.
politics."
Time to go.
Jesus.
You have had a lovely
Sorry,
time this
did.
evening, but I gotta get on. I'll give
I
you
got a thing in the
call
morning.
next week. Yeah,
Welcome
I
to
got-
Dumpsville, population you.
you.
Yeah.
Say hi
Sam,
to Bojo. You dumb bitch.
Samuso86, thank you very much for the 10 Polish zloty. Have a fifth of a drink on me. What is Spexit? I guess that's Spain leaving the European Union.
That's a good idea.
Really?
They're not going to leave anytime soon.
No.
Not as
no, I
long
don't
as
think
Mike's
so.
got the purse strings.
Absolutely. Hey, my Spanglish grandson is coming to visit me in 2 days' time. So,
Oh,
Exciting.
yeah, I'm very excited.
cool.
Mm.
McKinnon says here, finding out a hot person is MAGA instantly turns them into a 2.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, 100%. They go from a 9 to a 1.
Because I think it's the cruelty, right? Like, it's fine if someone is, not that great on the eyes, but they're sweet and generous and all these things. You'll at least be able to develop a friendship with them. If someone is gross on the inside, you don't even want to hang out with them. So, like,
No.
I'm not
I don't
sure
even
why
know how
they
beautiful
just.
they are.
I don't know why everyone thinks like, let me just stamp this toxic waste sticker on my face in the form of a red hat, and just like, why can't people accept me? It's like, because you have toxic waste danger on your face, so I'm staying away from it.
Yeah.
Humans are good
So-
at pattern recognition. I don't know why they don't think we just avoid the things we don't like.
So, does anyone know who Donald Trump has just declared war on today?
Probably the
okay.
hippos.
Not the hippos, no. It's a state
Elon
of
Musk?
America. Can
Oh.
you guess which state he's declared war on?
California.
California, yeah. Apparently, he's going to withdraw all federal funding.
Why?
To start identifying grants the commission can withhold from California
For what? What'd they do?
for not voting for Trump.
Oh, you know what I was about to say? This is so funny. I was about to say, you can't do that.
Of
But
course he
it's
can.
just so irrelevant now,
No,
isn't
he
it?
can do anything.
It'd
he
be
wants.
it'd be a real shame if California just stopped paying their federal taxes, huh? I mean, they'd have to just keep all that fucking money that they have. Trump is the biggest dumbass that has ever existed.
Mhm.
That's like walking up to the cash cow and just like slapping it. Like
A great distraction, though, isn't it? I mean, it's a wonderful
Ju-
headline.
like-
to
like-
distract from the little lovers' tiff
Let's-
he's having.
let's-
isn't it?
let's pretend for a second that Gavin Newsom decides he's gonna Trumpify California. He'll be out of that motherfucker with so much more cash than Trump has ever dreamed of seeing. California is where the money is. That's where the ports are. That's where the tourists go. That's where Hollywood is.
That's right.
That is where the money
Facebook.
is. Yeah, all the tech built, all Silicon Valley is over there. Okay, don't give them anything else. They'll just say, okay, since we're not getting anything from the federal government, this triggers this law, and now we get to just keep all of our money. Everybody who
Yeah.
wants a house, you know what I mean? Who wants a house on us?
You get
because
you
they're
get a house.
they make a lot. That's a fourth or fifth largest economy on Earth
Yep.
is California.
And that's why they should join Mexico.
Oh, dude, that would be
Just to piss
lit.
Trump off.
Mexicali.
Mexico, just Mexico should take over New Mexico, Nevada, California, take Oregon as well, just for shit and giggles.
Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah, Arizona. Yeah,
Just
have
undo
Arizona.
the
Fucking Texas.
American-Mexican War.
Yeah, take it all back. It was all Mexican. Using the same logic as Vladimir Putin, in fact. This used to be ours for a few years back in the day. So now it's going to be ours because there's Spanish speakers there. We need to go in and protect the Spanish speakers from the
Ooh.
Nazis.
What if California, Oregon, Washington made a new country that's like a North American bridge something or other? You know what I mean? Because Mexico and Canada are still friends. And they would like to be friends with all of them and all their money. Think of the trade on the Pacific states or something of the
Call
West.
Isn't
could
this the
call
man in
it-
the high castle format? Isn't that?
They could call it Wat Orca.
Didn't go out to the Rockies. What?
They could call it Wat Orca.
That's
What
terrible.
orca?
That's
Yeah.
terrible.
WAORCA. Wat
Yeah,
Orca.
yeah.
That's a great
Yeah.
name.
Give
for
it
a
another-
country.
give it a
You
number
doing it to Wat Orca.
Just give it another
Maybe-
tumble. You know,
What?
Maybe let's just
Sounds
just
like a-
bounce that
sounds
one
like a-
around the
How about
tumble drawer a
Orca?
few times.
it's like a weird disease you got one time swimming in a river.
Oh, mate,
know?
this is why no one ever put up a trophy
Oh,
or
mate,
whatever. a
mate,
statue
this
to a
scar right
committee.
here, it's what orca. Oh, it's terrible. You don't want nothing like that.
All right, what about?
It just sounds
what about
festering.
Kauai?
Oh, now you got my attention. Okay, that's
Yeah,
instantly I remember it. Instantly.
How are you spelling that? Sorry.
CAWAOR. Kauai.
Oh my god. Okay, apparently it's called the Cascadia movement. It's already a thing.
Cascadia is a beautiful name for a country.
wow.
That's like something from a
Cascadia.
mythical land with
And they have the
princesses
they have the red
and unicorns and
they have the
magic
redwoods,
ponies.
the redwoods and the sequoias
Yeah.
out there. It's a magical place. Cascadia.
Cascadia.
I want to live
Can
there.
I just ask, is
That
Is
sounds
Scott
wonderful.
intently? Scott, are you intently listening? Yeah. Sorry.
No, he's
I think
listening
your
to Skunk
screen
Anansi.
had frozen. for a
Listen to
moment.
Skunk Anansi.
He's got his new
You didn't
album.
move for about 30
Apostate
seconds.
Sisters.
I was looking through Elon Musk's Twitter.
Did anyone listen to the new Pulp album today? New Pulp album came
I
out
listened
today.
to a song.
More.
No.
Spike
No.
Island was all right.
Describe
quite-
the songs.
So Spike Island is about the Stone Roses gig in 1990 on Spike Island in the Mersey, where the sound system was shit and it was a big disaster. But it's always remembered by people who like claim to be at Spike Island.
was there.
Yeah, the rest of the island,
I enjoyed it.
everyone was there.
I was
I
also
was
there.
there. So was my wife.
I was off my head though. I don't remember a thing.
But yeah, it's all right. It's all right. It's not amazing. It's okay. But the video for Spike Island, the first song on the album, is quite interesting. Because what Jarvis Cocker's done is he's got all the pictures from the cover of the Different Class album. I don't remember the Different Class used to have.
It had
different
little
covers.
cards.
Yeah, they had like 12 different covers that you could choose.
I
to
had
put
that.
on.
I had the CD.
Well, he's
could change the
animated
cover.
them. He's animated them. He's put them into an AI engine, and he said "Come alive" because it's one of the lyrics, and it's just the weirdest fucking shit you've ever seen. It's just why AI isn't going to take over everything anytime soon.
No,
Because he
it
says
still
make the
looks
bus
crap.
move, and the bus, instead of moving forward or backwards like a bus would move, it moves closer to the camera on its
Ugh.
side, just like slides on its side. It's just. And for some reason, when they try and animate any of the people, you know, in the cutouts, they all become Chinese looking. It's
Oh my
just, I just, it's so bad, and it's kind of fascinating to watch the video because obviously they take the piss out of the fact that it's so bad, but AI's still got a long way to go. What can I say?
Some of it's amazing though.
The Cascadia cascade in the chat has gone. I want this place to exist now. They're talking about
do as well.
if this country lost California, Washington, and Oregon, they would be fucked. California, fourth largest economy. Washington has Microsoft, Starbucks, and Nintendo, and more. I forgot Nintendo's
Yeah.
over there. Nintendo,
And also,
NA.
the only way they could get stuff into America would be through Cascadia or the Panama Canal.
Simply Secular Dave, who's in Canada and BC, says, imagine the possibilities if Canada paid for a hydroelectric dam in partnership with and within British Columbia for electric rights. Like, this would be sick. This is... How do I get over there? I'll just sneak over the
actually,
Rockies.
It goes over the border. It's only the top bit of California. This I'm looking at the Cascadia Movement Wikipedia page, and it's just the top bit of California. It's most of
The
Oregon. It's
rainforest
all
part.
of Washington. It's some of Idaho. It's a little bit of Montana and then a load of British Columbia.
You know how the tech billionaires are trying to like buy all this land to like make their own little cities? Well, the white supremacists have been trying to do that in Idaho for years. And they keep losing like certain legal fights and stuff like that, but they have a whole little conclave. They wanted to secede and all that shit. They're proper crazies. Like took over government buildings and then, you know, they're white, so no one cares. But yeah, they fucking shot at the cops, the whole 9 yards. They're absolutely insane.
Wow.
Did you hear this Garcia case is going back to America?
Yes,
Yeah.
we mentioned that at the top of the show.
Oh,
Actually,
the start of the show. Okay,
he
sorry.
is. He's been brought back to face trial for
Yeah.
2 federal charges.
Which will be interesting because
Yeah.
whether that will be a fair trial or not is a
Who are you
another
talking about?
story.
Well, we were saying, I imagine he'll get some incredibly
It'll
cheap,
be-
if not free, legal help from
Yeah.
some Democrats.
yeah,
This-
that
this
and
is-
also it will be on every channel
Who?
for the next 6 months.
This is Kilmar Albrego Garcia, who was held in El Salvador. He's now been transported back to America. He's been held in America now. And
Oh, he's home?
going To,
Or
Yeah,
he's back.
and he's gonna
back
face-
stateside.
Is there any-
He's been returned to the U.S. to face criminal charges on a federal charges, 2 criminal counts.
Illegal trafficking of people or legal. evidence.
Is there any news on how he got back? How that's happened?
Yeah, that's crazy. No, I think Pam Bondi got him.
They just went and got him.
Yep. Like
He's,
they could have all this time. Yeah.
He's conspired to bring undocumented aliens to the United States from countries such as Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, Ecuador, and elsewhere, ultimately passing through Mexico before crossing into Texas.
Prove it.
Undocumented aliens, blah blah blah.
The
Communicated
only
with-
evidence for that was the sheriffs talking about when they pulled him over, isn't it? They pulled him over for a problem with one of his lights, and then it was recorded on their cameras, them saying, "I reckon he's a people smuggler," but they let him go. So, and that's the only evidence they've actually got. These sheriffs
Have fun
And
proving
it will
it.
show in
Cameras.
court. It will show in court. You know.
Have
yeah.
fun proving that.
Anyway, well,
It seems odd to me that Pam Bondi would bring him back if they didn't think they've got charges to press against him. That seems crazy.
Keep defying the fucking Supreme Court if you want to. You're gonna start triggering shit that you can't control.
Do you think that's what it was? Do you think that like they had to eventually bow down and do what the Supreme Court told them to do?
I suppose if they want the Supreme Court to do the next thing for them, then they've got to do it, haven't they? Because
Yeah.
it's like that big question about, what sheriff is the Supreme Court got that can go and arrest somebody?
Marshals, they can deputize anybody. They can deputize bounty hunters to do whatever
Well,
they
then you
want
s-
them to do.
the Supreme Court can do that.
Yes.
Okay, but
Dog the bounty hunter goes
isn't
after
part
Donald
of
Trump.
the
He's in Hawaii
Isn't
being
part-
racist. He's busy.
Yeah, he's gone.
Isn't part of the big bastard bill this thing about the suspending the ability for judges to find people in contempt of court or something mad like that?
Is that in there as well?
Someone brought up
No,
a good
they're
point.
trying
in there.
Someone brought up a good point. Trump failed, haha, is his name. Yes, the Kilmar Abrego Garcia situation is interesting. They say that he beat his woman with no testimony, but E. Jean Carroll is a liar. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Very good point.
Believe
very
all
good
women
point.
except that one.
We've also got
Yeah.
a £2 super chat from Questionable Absanity. Thank you. California is 5th in GDP capita behind DOC, District of Columbia, New York, MA, is that Maryland, and WA, Washington. In GDP per capita, but obviously California's got a capita.
Ain't
of
nobody worried about
40
per
million.
capita.
It's got a lot of people in California. But yeah, Cascadia, I like that idea. Those 3 states break away. Fuck it. Keep Portland weird.
I will be the president of Cascadia and lead them
But you're
into
not
a
far,
brave
that's-
new future.
You have
It
to
doesn't
be.
seem like a particularly good democracy if you can
Yes.
just declare yourself the fucking
I'm
president.
gonna
Marky.
run in the election. I'm
That's
gonna
a very
win.
good point.
Hey, in
You
Cascadia,
don't even live in
everyone's president.
Cascadia. It's like
You don't even live there, yeah.
you'd be an
Ooh.
You weren't
immigrant.
even born there. You're just another foreigner.
George,
Cascadia.
George, thank you very much for upgrading your membership to Megastar. Thank you.
Oh wow!
That is.
I want to be a
very Candy.
megastar.
What
You're the best.
what
You want to be a megastar?
Yeah, why not?
what would be
Get
on
your
the
wallet out,
Cascadia
Scott.
flag?
I forgot
Picture of
what
you,
the-
Mikey. Obviously,
Damn
big
right.
smiley
Profile.
face
I
in
want a
the middle of it.
profile.
Yeah.
I want people to see
Profile
my
picture,
jaw.
looking very proud.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
can you imagine if Trump did a profile and like put his face on coin and he'd have that double chin?
He
Yeah,
would do that.
he wants to be on Mount Rushmore.
That's not gonna happen.
There's a campaign
He's
to
already
get him
he's already on Mount Rushmore. The rounded backside of the mountain, that's him. That's your face. That's your face, sir. That is what you look like.
I can't believe they did
To
that
us.
to that beautiful cliff. They just decided to make it look shit. Oh, Samusu86, thank you, he has joined the chat as well. Sorry, joined the channel as well.
Scott, you're being summoned
Very
in
nice
my
of you.
chat.
Welcome.
Oh yeah.
Welcome. You are awesome. Welcome,
What is
welcome.
So
Um,
look at my chat.
sorry. Look
Yeah.
at Mikey's chat.
I'm gonna
Uh,
I'm gonna
well,
vanish for a
yeah.
moment and try and find
Okay.
a headphone I've just dropped.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Mike.
What should be
I
on the
wanna look at your
Cascade?
chat.
What should be on the Cascadia flag? I think it should be 2 redwoods with a waterfall.
Oh, 2 redwoods and a bear.
Could I have a bear in there? Bear in a barrel going over the waterfall.
Yeah.
Like
Do you know
Niagara
that
Falls.
clip? Do you know that clip that you see the GIF where it zooms in on the guy and he just kind of nods?
Mm,
You know that clip, the
Yeah.
GIF?
that you just want that that
I just want that guy. That's the flag. Just
doing this.
yeah, maybe like it's on one side he's got his head like this, and then the other side he's got his head a little tiny bit down.
And
Oh,
only in
God.
California do we have digital flags.
Yes.
In Cascadia.
In Cascadia, digital flags that nod. And just
Yeah.
go,
Bear. Chicago.
what show was
Illinois
that from? Does anyone know? Is it the man from Foggy Winters or something? I don't know. Samisu, anyway, thank you very much for joining the channel. If you want to join the channel, press the join button and you can become a member and get rose after your name. Sorry, Ollie, what were you saying?
Yes, I've got to go. I'm doing something incredibly
no.
nerdy tomorrow.
Ooh,
Yay.
I'm doing a dungeon crawl with this. Best Left Buried.
Dungeon crawl.
nice.
What's a dungeon crawl?
It's basically, well, it's D&D with a different system.
Oh, okay, I thought you were actually going to go out around, like, I don't know, York or somewhere that had dungeons and you were going to drink
Start
in all
digging
the,
up graves.
the dungeons,
Well,
dig
go-
up the graves.
Well, go outside and meet up with other humans. He's not doing that. He's doing a dungeon crawl.
You just hear
No,
all
I'm
this.
going to be inside tomorrow rolling dice.
You just hear all this chain mail. It's like, Ollie, wait, you're not actually. Ollie, no. He just got clink, puts his helmet on. No, Ollie, put the
Yeah,
axe
gotta
down.
go, guys. I'm sorry.
Is that poison? Put that down.
Is there
Why
a...
is he setting fire to the orphanage?
Free
Do you
loot,
know what'd be
baby.
really cool, actually. So if are the Navajo over in California, are they more down in New Mexico? The Navajo people.
What? I didn't hear the
Navajo,
question.
Native Americans. The
Yes.
Navajo. Whereabouts are they? Are they in California?
No. They
Which
are
tribes were in California?
a lot. I was reading a super chat. Sorry, £5 super chat from K. Freightliner Cascadia is a type of semi truck. I'm sitting in one right now. McKinnon says yes, New Mexico.
Tell McKinnon
Okay.
I love him.
That's who was in the chat.
So I'm-
He said you're a superstar to me, Scott.
Oh my God, I'll be whatever the hell he wants me to be.
That's what I'm saying. He's talking to you in the chat, but you didn't see
I
it.
love him. He's my
So there's
favorite.
So,
flags
Graham, the
for-
answer is the Miwok, the Moao.
Yeah.
I'm going to pronounce every single one of these wrong. The Yurok, the Karok, the Chamis people, the Kato,
What
the
are we even
Hoopa.
talking about now? Because I've been looking on.
These
chat.
are Native
Native
American
American tribes
in
of
Canada.
California.
Oh right. Yeah,
California.
there's loads. Yeah.
the Talawawi, the Halami. There's a lot. There's 32.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I think we should find
Huge-
some of
huge
their
state.
flags because some of these different groups have
People,
their own
people
flags.
underestimate how big that state is.
And make that the flag because that'll annoy Trump, won't it?
Yeah. The Wapo, they sound the most interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Northern
Probably does.
Californian traditional Napa Valley.
I'm just gonna get
They
a
have a
drink. I'll be
flag
right back.
with a picture of Mikey on it, apparently.
Ooh. Mikey nodding of approval.
Yeah.
Mhm. It's me, and I'm doing the wink, and then it's got a little shiny from my dink on the ding.
Mm.
Ding.
The Team Rocket.
I would
ding.
want to live in a country with a flag like that.
It'd be
Mm.
chill. We are
Yeah,
not going to
I would
bother
go
you.
on-
That sounds like work, and we don't
would-
do that here. We don't work to bother people. If it happens on
That'd
accident,
be
sure.
so cool. That'd be so cool though to have a flag that was like digital.
It's going to be possible. If any state could make it, it would be California, wouldn't it? I would have
And
thought.
everything is
A
online
big
now.
bowl
So you
of
could make
Caesar
it as a
salad.
GIF. You could make it as a GIF. So it would actually
Did-
animate.
Digital fabric. It must exist. It must exist. There's digital paper, isn't there? So there must be digital
Yeah.
fabric.
All right, McKinnon has more. Cascadia would include the Tlingit and Haida people, which is my family. We're of the Raven Moiety.
Oh wow.
Oh, cool.
Cool,
That'd be very
McKinnon.
cool.
You're very look. I'm learning all kinds of stuff, and then he immediately says a
Does-
flag of avocado toast, and then he immediately reminds me that all of us are human.
I love that idea. So, has anyone got any mad
Avocado toast.
stories from the week that they want to pick up on, apart from the whole Trump Musk?
Did you know about
Bull
Big
stuff.
Sugar?
No, tell me
Oh
about Big
no!
Sugar.
Tell us.
Big Sugar is trying to Scott is trying to ruin the Everglades. So they built. So the Everglades is like this huge swamp in Florida, and they early in the turn of the century decided it would be a good idea to drain it and then try to develop on there, but it doesn't work because the ground is all mush, and also it's horrible to the environment, and it's just not bad. So what they did is they made some other lakes that will filter the water and then put that into the Everglades to restore it. Big Sugar is asking to put a strip mine straight down 1,000 meters away from the retention pond, which is filtering the water to put into the Everglades. So they're just going to keep blowing up the ground 1,000 feet away. And who knows, maybe a whole lake's worth of free water will become ours. I'm like, if that is not the grimiest shit I have ever seen in my life, like, it's so bad. It's so bad.
And Trump will let them get away with it, won't he?
Well, this is
Like,
DeSantis territory.
yeah, but I mean, yeah. So
The president is not in charge of everything. Like, you guys, I know he seems like he's in charge of everything, but he's not in charge of everything. He's
he makes
just loud.
proclamations, mate.
He
makes
says it all the
proclamations.
fucking. He says it.
I read
all
that the other day.
day.
It said Trump made a proclamation, and I'm like, "Fucking what is this? Medieval fucking Rome? Fucking proclamations? What the fuck? A divine
'Cause
right
it's
so true.
absolutism? Go fuck yourself. You're a fucking yank with fucking orange skin. Fuck off."
Because at the end of the day, every state has their own constitution. So, like, I get that we have a federalist system, but at the same time, if your governor is like my governor, JB Pritzker, is just like, Trump can suck my fucking dick. Good luck, brother. Like, say whatever the fuck you want to say in DC. You want to cut some federal funding?
Dude.
Cut some federal funding. We got money. We just won't pay you. We'll take it out of what you owe us.
To be fair, I think in this country we don't quite comprehend exactly how it works in the States, because it's much more like the EU, isn't it?
Yeah.
That Florida is like Portugal, and the
Yeah.
European president doesn't really have any say over what happens in Portugal except for
Right.
money and prisons and whatever.
It's
But no,
very.
we forget because you feel like the states are probably like counties in this country, and,
but it's
and therefore
it's so much more vast. There's
Yeah,
so many more people.
yeah, they are
That-
the size of countries. aren't
And,
they,
and,
those
and,
countries?
and like in the beginning, and everyone and Graham was saying, "It's like, why aren't people going down?" I was like, "Dude, do you know how far that is?" It's like, you want me to drive fucking 15 hours for a protest? Like,
Well,
it's people
No,
have
no,
to do
no,
things
but
locally
protest in
because
your
it's.
own- Yeah, protest
what I mean?
locally. That's fine. Yeah.
But
I
DC
mean,
didn't have like these huge crowds. It's like, yeah, because half of DC is fucking Congress, and the other half is lobbyists trying to fucking get into the pocket of Congress.
yeah,
so
there
there's not
was
like a
huge
ton of-
crowds. There was huge crowds in the Black Lives Matter protests. I mean, people
That
can
was
come
planned
out,
for
but-
months and months of planning for that stuff.
Was
It's a
it?
it's a big fucking country. You can't just like snap a finger and have everybody. What you want everybody to get in a
Trump's been in
fucking?
charge now for how many? What, for 5 months?
You want everybody to fucking get in
It
a
seems
plane
like-
now? You want everybody to fucking
No,
fly
not
over the
getting a
fucking
plane. I'm
exactly?
talking I'm talking about just going out and protesting locally. The protests that I've seen have
They
been.
did the march
this
on
week?
the
and
they did
protests
the
don't do
march
as much.
in the '60s. What was the big march on the Capitol?
The Million Man March.
Million Man March.
Yeah, they were busloads of people coming from all over the country.
Now that the official
Days.
opposition is
And that
Elon
took
Musk,
planning.
It took a lot of planning. Yeah.
don't you think now that the official opposition is Elon Musk, that it's going to be interesting to watch these rallies and fights. Just let all the MAGAs and the Muskies get together and fight each other. That'd
Hey,
be
I'm
great.
I'm antagonizing. I wouldn't let him say that shit to me, Elon. You better tell. You
Yeah,
better
exactly.
reveal some more secrets, Elon. Don't let him talk to you like that. Tell him what's.
He
tell him
posted a
what for.
tweet, didn't he, saying, "Should we start a new party for the 80% of Americans in the middle?"
Yeah, that's delusion. He's crazy.
Here he go
it's
thinking
got-
he understands politics again.
He literally has no idea.
I don't think he understands math, does he? Really? If it's like 80%, it's not quite the middle. It's almost the whole thing, isn't it? Really?
Like the failing to the top with Elon Musk is just off the charts. It is to the moon, to Mars, some would say. Like this,
Well, no, it's
to
not because
be
he
so
can't get to
incompetent.
either of those places, can he? He's incapable of getting
only
to
the-
orbit.
The ludicrousy of the whole thing gets there, but he'll never get there. It's I don't know how much more he could do wrong in his life and continue to be rewarded for it. Every time he gets a fork in the road, he picks the wrong fucking way, and he gets a fucking bigger and bigger and bigger prize for it. It's
I'll tell you what I watched,
just nice for
on
him.
the iPlayer. There's a drama series called The Dropout. Has anyone seen that? It's about the Theranos story about Elizabeth Holmes. It's about 8 episodes, and I started watching it for something to binge the other day, and it's not great, but the story itself and her character, the way that venture capital and investors got behind her, even though there was absolutely no evidence ever provided that what she was working on would actually work. And then the security that she put in place to protect herself. And then these moments, it's well acted. And there are just these moments where she's faced with a decision. There's a moral decision to make. You know, if we carry on doing this,
Right.
we'll get more money, but we might kill people. And it's just this transformation in her face. It's almost like that Severance camera pull on her, basically, where she just suddenly goes, "Yeah, I'm going to do the bad thing." Basically,
wow.
and goes up and does the bad thing, and it just gets worse and worse and worse and
Wow.
worse. And she is so cold and calculating all the way through.
Elizabeth Holmes had the most psychopathic stare, says person impersonator.
Yeah. Scary. But
she
but
was
you
a
can
man,
see
she
how
would've
the
got away with it.
system- Well, there's a lot of that in there. You know, it does talk about the fact that it talks about a lot about the fact that being the first high-profile billionaire venture capital funded startup unicorn, whatever, as a woman, that she probably will put back the cause of women entrepreneurs for 20 years if it goes wrong, and then it goes terribly wrong, basically. And there's comments at the end, right? You know, when they do the things that happen at the end in text, and it says that a number of people in California, one woman in California who got a startup company that was valued at $1 billion, was told to dye her hair a different color so she didn't look like Elizabeth Holmes because she wouldn't get the money.
Simply Secular Dave says she practiced her voice and that stare in the mirror, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Dedication to the
And then,
con.
she does that in the show very well, the way she transforms and tries it out on people.
Kemi Badenoch was in the news this week. Have you seen this story?
Which
Go
one's
on.
this
It was
one?
on the BBC. She says, "I'm going to get better as Tory leader."
Oh Lord. Oh
Good luck.
Lord.
Good luck.
Well,
Godspeed.
She's at a low starting point, so you know.
Yeah, well, yeah. She can. The only way is up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
That's-
not
you know-
turning up for PMQs next week would be an improvement.
Yeah,
That's
right.
that sounds like January 2nd. I'm really gonna work on this workout plan tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, can I say something really controversial about Jenrick? Yeah,
You won't say it.
Go
You're a
on.
coward. You're scared to say
I think he might be onto something with these stunts that he's pulling. They're like the Tory equivalent of Lib Dem stunts, you know, where
Yes.
he's going to tube stations and
Yeah.
doing a Batman job on stopping people
Yeah,
from.
yeah. He's.
cheating.
Someone
I
said.
think
Someone
he's
said.
he's
they've
in
got
line
a
to be
knife.
next leader. There's no doubt about it.
Someone said they got a
Yeah.
knife, and he went, "All right," and then he let them get on the train.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Didn't
yeah,
ask,
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
call the police
tell
or
anyone.
anything
Yeah.
because
But I
there's a
think
huge knife crime epidemic. We need to get people arrested.
Here's
I'm
what
not gonna
I
bother.
reckon, that he is touching a nerve with the people he's trying to appeal to. I don't think it has any effect on us. We all think he's being stupid and he's a silly posh boy pretending to be Batman. He's probably got security guards standing behind the camera and all sorts of things. But
So true.
the reality is, I think it'll hit home. I think
Yeah.
it's a
There's all
it's something
publicity.
that
No,
will work.
no publicity is bad publicity. I wish fucking Labour would learn this. They're so timid. I
Yeah.
think that the timidity of Labour is going to be their fucking downfall.
So-
It does everyone's
so-
head in. Just fucking do something. If you fuck
Yep.
up, just do it.
Is your left wing also crippled with age? Because that's
No.
what's going on over
No.
here. Is like
Self-doubt.
everyone's like 60 plus, and then it's like,
Yes. Yeah.
why aren't you responding? It's like, I'm going to do that
need
on
to-
Thursday on my press. Like, oh my god, get up, get up.
Yeah.
You need,
Wake up and
you
do
need
something.
another pandemic, I think,
Oh
in
my
the
goodness.
Democrats.
It's an age-old
States.
problem of older
Mm.
age. But yeah, the average Democrat now, politician, isn't the average age like 68 or something fucking
Yeah,
It's
they
way up
definitely need
there.
a new guard of people.
Yeah. No, we don't have that. We're pulled back by schisms between different groups on the left who just argue amongst themselves eternally, and purists who want everything to be perfect and will rather live under a Tory yoke for the rest of their lives than have to deal with a Labour Party that doesn't do exactly what they want them to do. And even within groups like Extinction Rebellion, people go, no, we should be doing it this way, and they break off and they become Just Stop Oil, and then just like the most frustrating thing about the left is it is like herding cats, and I just wish we were a little bit more open. And I'm not fucking innocent of this myself. I wish we were just a bit more open of other ways of doing things on our side. I have no problem with people just cutting people off for voting for refuck. Fuck them, I don't care. But when people are on our side, and it kind of scared me. I was at a friend's house. This is years ago. This must be about 25 years ago. And my mate was a Labour councillor at the time. And I remember we were there with a bunch of Labour people. And I think we were watching the US election or something. And I remember one of them talking about how, the Lib Dems, it was just really, really angry. 'Cause at the time, the Lib Dems ran Liverpool City Council. And he went, they want to put porno cinemas next to schools. And I'm like, really? Is that what they want to do? And he was like getting so absolutely enraged. And the reality is, when it comes to governance of city councils, Labour and the Lib Dems aren't that different, to be honest with you.
No.
There's more that unites
So-
them than divides them.
So I have a totally separate thought process for politic. If you want people to vote for you, you need bait. I think that the pageantry of parliamentary government and the system that we have over here in the States, our federalist system, it like everyone's kind of forgotten, like everyone's been playing the roles so long, they forgot what the job is. It doesn't matter who the hell you are or what you look like or what, if you can deliver like results, you win. That is the key to politics, is results. And the Democrats have now lost the plot because they think that they can just talk about future results without delivering. You can't do that. Obamacare was supposed to be this fully fleshed out thing. We were supposed to get the ERA. We were supposed to get a lot of shit. And it never fully came. And they gave him a second. Like, you need results. You need bait. People are voting for Trump because he has bait. His bait is lies. But if you don't have any bait, then it doesn't matter about who's on this side of this issue and that side. Do you want your economy strong, and do you want everybody fed and healthcare? Yeah, I'll take that. You know what I mean? But instead of that, they tried to do that at the beginning of Kamala's campaign, but then they went right back to the same old pageantry bullshit, and they lost the plot. You need to change the material conditions for your constituents in a positive manner. If you cannot do that, you can say or have or split and divide and have all these pissing matches, but do the kids have free lunch? You know what I mean? Like, that is what it breaks down to. And if people aren't, I don't give a shit what he says about that thing over there. Are we doing results? I know everyone feels like their personal social issue needs to be on the platform right now. We need to get back to basics where it's, you will not put people out of here. We will be fed. We will keep our trade up and going. We will do the basic things. And if you want to,
Mikey.
and if you want to go after people, then you're going to have to get that through Congress. I'm not up here to executize, and you know what I'm saying? All of these like social issues, that is not that person's job. You're there to execute what Congress tells you, what the lawmakers are telling you to do. But everyone likes to sidetrack into this, how can I get the most donors? And then we play the donor game. It ain't about that. Serve the people and get the fuck out of the way.
Yeah.
Serve and get out the way. That's it.
But that's one of the ironies that actually, arguably, this Labour government is doing that. That's exactly what they're doing. They're free school breakfast for every kid in the country. School lunches they're now talking about making free. They're bringing back winter fuel payments after the fuck up of that. They're making the railways nationalised and working. They're genuinely
house building. That's huge.
Ticking away every block of what makes our lives.
You do the work. You do the work, and the rest of it pans out.
I saw somewhere that the Tories had only built 450 houses in the whole time that they were in charge, 14 years. They built net 450 houses, and Labour was like, so
but their
their
economic model was the wealth of their voters or the well-being of their voters was entirely based on the value of their homes, wasn't it? Really? So, and our economy's been based on that for 30 years now, 40 years.
Yeah.
So.
But one of the things that I always feel about on the left is that we are we're too timid when it comes to doing these big projects, that we need to make sure that everyone's happy. Fuck it. Everyone's not going to be happy. Whatever you do, people aren't going to be happy about it. People will complain about literally anything. There'll be a bit of waste field near your house that no one uses, and someone will say, hey, why don't we turn this into a football pitch for kids to play on? And they'll be like, fuck that! No way! How dare you even consider this? And they'll write letters to the council. You don't have to get everyone's permission. And I know this is something that Labour have taken on board because they are trying to get the idea of being YIMBYs and actually building this stuff. And if it means building on the fucking sacred green belt, honestly, at this point, I don't give a fuck anymore.
Oh, I've said
Build
that for a
on the
long
fucking
time.
green belt. We've been building motorways on the green belt for the last 60 years. No one's giving a shit.
You should see the debates that they
build
have
a
on
railway,
my street.
build a house for a family. Oh no, you can't. The hedgehogs.
Everyone's done, especially since the pandemic. Everyone is done stomaching so that politicians can pander. Stop. We need assistance. We need things to go back to something more stable, and enough with the bullshit and all this get rich quick bullshit that Trump and Refuck are selling, where we're going to do this and this is going to work out so much better for us and you're going to have so much money, you're not going to know what to do with it. I don't know who is damaged in a way that they can't understand that is just bullshit and a lie, but they're falling for it. Let them fall for it. I don't fucking care at this point. But for everyone else, it's like if there's kids having a food fight or whatever, I don't care about them having a food fight. Do they have food to throw at each other? You know what I mean? Like, do we have a cafeteria to even for them to have? Like, I'm not interested in who's throwing mashed potatoes. Are we going to be able to eat tomorrow? That's more important to me. And this short-term thinking of, oh, well, I guess we'll just throw trans people and DEI under the bus this time because we'll just no. You gather people under your umbrella and you push fucking through and you work. There's no work. It's all just, well, my group's doing great right now. And it's such bullshit.
And to a great extent, those big social improvements can happen if you actually achieve those basics, like you say. If you get that right, then you can achieve everything. But I recently I've been looking back over the 1945 Labour Party manifesto. You know, the one that gave us nationalised everything, essentially. After the war, and looking at comparisons to where we're at the moment with our economy and our national debt and everything else, I think, you know, where's the party that's saying, hey, look, we can't be in the hands of these fucking Cascadian tech bros running the internet and AI and social media and everything. All, you know, 5% of all of every transaction you do online is going to California. What we should do is nationalize social media and AI. Who's saying that? Is anybody even suggesting that, hey, why don't we have a British version of this that we can all be proud of and make it a world-leading technology platform to compete by making it a national project? Because you talk to my kids' generation, they would regard Wi-Fi and broadband as a human right, to be honest with you, nowadays. Whereas we still go, isn't it marvelous? We can get the internet wherever we wander, basically. But there's a generation of kids that think that this is
Normal.
a generation of humans that think this is normal, and it's like having electricity or water or toilets,
And that's the improvement.
And I think that's true, and we should be doing something about that, because the robber barons, there are 5 or 10 mega rich assholes in America who are taking money, shaping the minds of our children, ruining our education system. The way AI at the moment is destroying education in such a quick pace time, because
it's cheap,
particularly in the States. You're not paying teachers enough money to do the job properly anyway. So the teachers are using AI to do half of their work. The kids are using AI. Neither of them understand what the fuck they're talking about. I was listening to a report where teachers were talking about the fact they have to sit down with each child now and get them to actually read their report to them that they've written and explain it. And if they can't read any of the long words in there or explain any of it, it's blatantly written by AI. Yeah. And that's the only way they can do it now. Sit down with a pencil, make them write out answers to questions with pencils. We're living in a technological age. My point being, at some point in time, we have to get on top of AI. We absolutely have to get on top of the regulation of AI. All these, in the big, beautiful bill, the most dangerous bit, and the bit I agree with Marjorie Taylor Greene on, is no, you cannot leave AI unregulated for the next 10 years, because the pace that it's developing.
Yeah, but unlike Marjorie Taylor Greene, you didn't vote for that bill.
No,
he voted for
I fucking read it. I read it.
Oh yeah, unlike Marjorie Taylor Greene, you fucking read it.
Exactly. She could have used AI to summarize that for her. Since she didn't bother reading it.
We got another 25 Polish zlotys from Samuso86. Thank you, sir.
That's your data, dumbass.
It's obvious where it's going. Rich people eat, poor people starve, because AI will take care of everything. But what do we do? I don't, because AI can't take care of farming. We're not gonna have fucking robots with the ability to fucking murder a child in a house doing the laundry. It's just not gonna be. You might have a Roomba.
But the thing is, Graham, it accelerates the process of taking human jobs away. And you could argue that some of those human jobs, that's fine, as long as there's a way of paying people, universal basic income or something in recompense for the fact that their shitty job in Aldi.
Yeah, that's what they'll do. They'll share the profits.
You don't.
But they're not going to do that.
They're
not going to do that unless we regulate, unless we do something about it.
Email came along.
Build an economy.
Email came along and they went, oh fuck, no one's going to send each other letters anymore. So we'll get rid of all these people who go to people's houses and drop things through the letterbox. But then the internet came along and everyone went on Amazon and bought things, and now everything's delivered to people's houses, and now more people than ever before are employed putting things through people's letterboxes.
I am the biggest proponent for the fact that I absolutely worked for a company that sold franking machines back in the 90s.
Wow, my dad used to have a franking machine.
Right, I had to go to a place. It was called a company called Pitney Bowes. They made dictaphones.
Why didn't they call it Franking Goes to Hollywood? They missed out on that.
I had to go to a place in Falmouth, a post office research and development center, right, for a conference that I went to. And this place was called Post Office 2000. This tells you how long ago it was. It was actually in the late 80s I was doing this. And I stood there, I think it was about 1989. And I stood there, looked at this sign, Post Office 2000. I said, you guys are not very ambitious, are you really? That's 10 years' time,
Yeah.
And what they were talking about was the idea that you would stop sending letters. Instead, you would write a letter, take it to the post office. They would fax it to a post office near the people that were to receive your letter, and then it would be delivered by a postman at the other end.
Yeah.
Genuinely, we spent a whole day discussing this massive new technology, and I sat there and went, anyone tried this email thing? Basically, and they're all going, what? Tell me more. And when I'm showing them email and in this Post Office 2000 place, so they were totally getting the prediction of where technology was going to go wrong. And as it turns out, the people knocking on your door bit with a parcel in their hands, that's the bit we all need because of the internet. But they weren't predicting that in the 1980s.
No.
And the argument with AI is the same as I went through with social media when I worked for the TV industry in the lobbying side of that, is that, the industry is saying, well, we don't know what impact it's going to have on the economy. In the same way, we don't know that AI might not make all the movies in the future and Hollywood will disappear. We have no idea unless if you start regulating us, we'll never know.
Yeah.
because we won't be able to try these things.
Christy says they also said computers will reduce paperwork. They actually increase the amount of paperwork. That's arguable because you used to be able to turn off. Now you finish your job at 5 o'clock and someone sends you an email. You got to fucking check it.
Jeez, yeah.
You're never off. You're always on call.
I literally work in a paperless office. So I don't know what she's talking about there.
No, but you've got to check your emails and shit, and people can contact you all the time, 24/7, wherever you are. You used to be able to go for a walk and no one could contact you.
Well, yeah,
you got to play in the field across
do
the
that.
road.
You just leave your phone at home.
Yeah. Paula Thomas, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. It's very kind. Lawyers have just been warned by the High Court not to use AI in preparing arguments for court.
Oh, of course. It makes sense, doesn't it?
And I think it's in Louisiana. The giant fucking supercomputer that's supposed to be running these models for them. Yeah, don't live by there because the people are getting sick already. Like all of this, all this shit is unsustainable. I say throw it the fuck away. It's a lazy man's tool. If you're not using it in a scientific application, throw it all away, turn it all off. It's illegal. I mean, when the fake news videos start coming out, then maybe people will see. But when there's like, a fake mass casualty event and the fake everything else, I'm 100% on the slippery slope side of this. We don't need it. People already don't know how to like show their work when it comes to reading, math, or like they're already struggling cognitively. And COVID didn't help any of this. We do not need AI right now. Everyone needs to crack open a goddamn book once a week and read for an hour. Like their brains are turning into fucking peanut butter, and AI will not help that.
I mean, look, I don't want to come across as opposed to it at all, right? I think it's an incredible thing. The advances in science that are going on at the moment, because AI can process so many more hypotheses than was possible before, particularly combinations of drugs and things. That is amazing stuff. But also, none of this is new. The internet came along in my kids' generation, and they've benefited from having a computer attached to the internet all of their lives, pretty much. Both of my boys, they use the internet to do their homework, just like I had to use a library or a textbook. Basically, we can't complain that these things progress. AI will start to be used as a tool. The question is, how do we use it, and how do we get on top of making sure that we use it well? And how do we actually say, okay, it does help teachers and it does help kids to learn more, as long as they understand what the fuck they're doing with it. Because
we don't have any money to pay the teachers. We haven't even tried more teachers. Like we won't even invest in education, and then now we're supposed to just give AI. Okay.
I've got to disagree. The teachers have enough money to give gender reassignment surgery to every single child,
and change the litter boxes.
They're loaded, mate.
All the litter box changing.
If they were doing less of that all day, that's surgery.
Yeah,
right. And that's
why I teach them history or English. Oh no, you're not allowed to teach history, are you?
And I feel like this kind of feeds into that. Like that's what they're saying is like that's what they're trying to do in the States. Is they're going to put kids on with AI teachers and PragerU. Like that's what they want as an education for kids going forward, knowing damn well it's not going to work. Like their kids are not to be experimented on with our technology. If you want to give them a new film projector or a new something, that's fine. But that one-on-one education that not maybe one-on-one, but a smaller classroom size with an adult who is a teacher, who is trained, who's been doing the same lecture all day, who can really focus on it. Like that's what we all had. And I refuse to just deprive the next generation of that because some technology claims that it does a better job at it. Fuck that. Why don't they go back and
stuff can't be replaced?
Yeah, why don't they go back in time and only listen to a fucking tablet as opposed to a teacher who can impart knowledge and nuance and the human experience that is required for intense learning?
This isn't that different from the conversations we were having in the 90s when CD-ROMs came along and they were like, oh, we could put a video on it and that could be the teacher and we'll just put a screen on in front of the kids and the person on the screen can teach. It just doesn't work because you need that interpersonal relationship between the teachers and the kids.
That's not fair.
The kids will
and I think that's the nuance.
Screens.
I think the trick is working out how do you use, like, you have teachers' assistants in classrooms and things
Yes.
and volunteers, and it's about maybe you can use AI to augment teaching.
Yes. Yeah,
You can make
absolutely.
teaching a lot
Make it more
better
efficient.
by doing
Yeah.
individual training for kids on their own levels,
Yeah.
etc. But still with a teacher controlling all of
If
that.
only
And I
they
think those
had
things are really interesting and exciting.
If only they had 2 other teachers at home with them, or at least one other teacher at home. Like, that's part of the, like, we as a society and as communities owe these children. So
Yep.
no, the AI doesn't have to do supplemental thing. That is my job. It is Dada's job to make sure that little one understands everything.
You're not going to write a
me.
lesson plan for the teacher, though. I mean,
No.
doing stuff like that, doing the bureaucracy and the paperwork. And
No,
shit
we were
like
talking about the
not
extra help.
actually
We're talking about the
imparting
extra
knowledge.
help. I'm saying if
And
they
we
need
do have to
extra
be
help.
preparing. We do have to be preparing kids for a world that AI will be part of their life. You know, in 20 years' time, when those kids leave school and go into the workplace. I mean, it's already happening. You leave school at the
20
moment.
years?
You're
How long,
expected to use
how long were
AI.
you in school? Paula, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. Lawyers have just been warned by the High Court not to use AI in preparing arguments for court. And thanks for that. And also, Hilgara, thank you for being a member for 1 month. That's really cool. Loved Refuck only getting 3rd today. So it was a Scottish by-election for the Scottish Parliament in which Labour won, surprisingly. It was an SNP seat and SNP came 2nd. And Refuck came 3rd, but there was only 800 votes in it. Which is a bit worrying.
But all the press kept saying surging Refuck, and you go, oh, shut the fuck up. If you add the SNP, the Liberal vote, the SNP vote, and the Green vote, and the Labour vote together, they far outweighed the Tories and Refuck vote. Anyway, it's got.
I got two chats over here. McKinnon says, personally, I'm extremely skilled in my. It also says, Scott, I love you deeply. I am extremely skilled in my job, but my brain can, he's fucking hilarious, get scattered quite a bit. I use AI and dump everything in my brain and ask it to organize this. For me, it's a pretty good use. Yeah. Personal use, rock out. And then Kay directly after says, there is no measured, responsible application of this tech under capitalism. And there you have it. Like, we don't live in this world where they're not going to do the cheapest thing fucking possible and fuck these kids over. And then after the kids are fucked over, after an entire generation is lost, then we're going to go back to what we said before. It's like, okay, I guess that was wrong. But then what happens with these kids? You know?
But you need an adult in the room with the kids to make sure they don't smash everything up and beat each other to death with the table legs. Do you know what I mean? Like,
they'll just put a camera
in the room.
They'll just put a camera in there.
Yeah, they will. But this is why I'm arguing that you need a debate and regulation. We need to work out how we want to use it and make it work that way, basically.
They need to prove that it does what they say it does before it's implemented anywhere. It doesn't do, you know what I mean? This is all vaporware as far as I'm concerned.
Hang on, Mike.
This is plagiarism mixed with vaporware.
In my school, 30 classes all at once would have smashed the cameras and then started smashing everything else up. While the one guy in the CCTV office was running down the corridor trying to stop 1,000 children from going fucking Planet of the Apes.
Hey, kids, we got 30 BBC B micros. No, we haven't. They've all been nicked.
No, they've all been nicked. We've got them.
Listening to LBC when they're talking about the effects of the kid, they're calling it on James Show, and the people are calling in saying how the kids were affected from COVID and not being in and all that. The kids are not even running amok on the playground. They're just standing in line at the equipment. They're not us. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't get, they're not getting what that true, dirty, scraped up knee, bug in my hair kid experience. They're not getting it. Not in the same essence like we had. So I don't want to sacrifice them to the computer gods. Like, that doesn't feel fair to me. Because we valued our education. It meant something to us, and we've become these intelligent adults because of it. I'm speaking for all of us, but at least for me, my teachers were very instrumental into my continued learning after school.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I don't think that will change, Mikey. I don't think that will change, honestly.
There's this crazy fucking story about a 7-year-old child was struck by a car in North Carolina, walking home 2 blocks with their brother, and they were at the shop with their mum, and they said, "Can we walk home?" And it was a 7-year-old and a 10-year-old. Let's walk 2 blocks, and they went, "Yeah, okay." And one of them stepped out into the road. They were hit by an elderly driver, and the parents are now in jail for neglect.
That's crazy.
This seems bizarre to me from my generation. I was a little kid in the 80s, and
So was I.
we would just leave for hours. Our parents
Would
had
go.
some
We'd
kind of
work.
idea where we were, but they didn't know.
8, 9 o'clock, after you have some cereal, you just go outside and go play, and then you come back for
those
dinner.
dead animals weren't going to poke themselves. Those bushes weren't going to set themselves
Hey, there's
on
a dead
fire.
fish over there, I think.
You know, that tree was going to remain unclimbed.
That's
but
disgusting.
Who's
And the
going to rip
driver
off
of
the leaves
Jeep,
off?
The 76-year-old driver of the Jeep has not been charged.
That's
reckless
great.
driving.
That's nuts.
Cars must
He
be
still hit
protected
him.
at all.
This goes back
costs.
to the Liverpool incident, doesn't it, as well?
Oh, that woman, that did that kid, the American woman.
No, the guy that drove the car through the crowd the other day
Oh,
in
right,
Liverpool.
that one, yes.
And the charges are driving without due care and attention or something ridiculous, basically.
Gotta
They're
protect the
not.
cars.
You were given a large weapon full of petrol and you drove it at speed at people with intent to murder them.
There's a huge
what you
lobby that
did.
will protect that weapon against all
Exactly.
comers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause they don't want
That's
that
disgusting.
to be a
Parents
thing
of
that so someone get banned for life for trashing 6 police cars in a massive police chase that ended on the motorway, and it turned out they had no license, they had no insurance, it wasn't their fucking car. 3 years ban. What? Banned for
They're
3
going to
years.
ignore anyway, aren't they?
Not
'Cause
a
they were
lifetime ban.
anyway.
Not a lifetime ban because they might want to buy a car, and the car companies like people buying cars. The oil companies like buying people's cars and people buying cars, and obviously they have a lot of sway over our politicians and lawmakers on if he'd gone out with a samurai fucking sword and smashed up 6 police cars, he would have gone in for a lot longer.
or a
but
tank.
because he did it with a car,
If you
is
did it with
really
a
murder?
tank, basically,
with a
you'd
tank,
definitely
we'll get into
be
trouble. But
driving
yeah,
a tank without due care and attention.
this story about these parents being done for neglect, because obviously this week as well there was they were searching for any remains of Madeleine McCann, who was a toddler who went missing in 2007.
You're gonna trigger me.
Prior
Trigger
to us
warning.
in
Sorry, Scott.
You're gonna trigger me.
in
And
Portugal.
I'm triggered because I think it's the biggest waste of money that could be happening right now. We complain about police officers not going all Trump. We complain about police officers not attending people, not attending crimes, but we're gonna pump loads and loads of money into a missing girl who's been gone for 18 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's
She's
so fucking
dead.
unusual.
Huh?
Because it's so unusual, and the person who did it will probably do it again. So yeah, I'd spend all the money you can, find the fucker who did it, and put them behind bars so they don't do it again. Otherwise,
agree.
another little girl go missing and die.
Ridiculous.
The reason why it was such a huge case was because it just hardly ever happens. Thankfully,
What, little girls are not kidnapped?
yeah.
No, not as often as the press would have you believe.
There was only
Not as often as-
581 murders in England and Wales last year. 581. That's it. Half a fucking school by murderers. The idea that we go outside and everyone's out to get us, it's bullshit made up by the right wing press to fucking sell Netflix series and stuff so we don't go out and do stuff. But this is it. I grew up in a whole stranger danger. Watch out, there's going to be a man on the street in a van and he'll kidnap you and he'll be with puppies and chocolates, and then the puppies will eat the chocolate. There'll be shit everywhere, and you'll never walk straight again. And like that never happens. What happened was children were abused by scout leaders, by priests, by their own fucking stepfathers and fathers and uncles in their own fucking homes. 90% of them. And we didn't go after that because it's a family matter. It's a family matter. And it's like when these things happen, I think we should come down on them like a ton of bricks. But don't think that it's dead common. It's not. It's really not.
They charge the
Most murders
parents.
solve themselves.
They charge those parents
We
with.
just need to let the child rest.
They charge.
Well, no, they can't, Scott.
Why?
Sorry to interrupt, Mikey. How could you rest if you were the parents, not knowing whether your kid was dead or not? It's like the worst possible thing that can happen because they can never have closure. So even for the parents, there's a reason to do it.
I think they did it.
And to be fair, Scott, it's German taxpayers paying for it at the moment, not us. So
And Portuguese.
yeah,
So don't worry
The
about it.
taxpayers
Don't
are
sweat
Because
it.
the
Where's
Germans,
all their money?
the Germans absolutely
Where's
know.
the McCann's money? Where
What?
is it?
What do you mean? Where is
They
it?
raised millions and millions and millions of pounds when she went missing.
Did it?
Millions.
They
Where is
paid
it?
for private detectives for years, for lawyers
And they
and
couldn't. And they
press
still
people.
couldn't find anything about it.
No,
No.
listen, I don't know if they're perfect
I'm
human
sorry,
beings.
I'm just too cynical about the whole thing.
I understand, but the problem with this story is that everyone, like in this case, they're trying to blame the parents as much as anything else for it.
Well, there should be some blame on the parents.
But
I
Scott,
think
there's
they
no-
blame
Scott,
themselves
there's
every
just
single
no
day of
such
their
thing
lives
as-
because the
yeah,
little girl
there's
is
no
gone
such
and is
thing
never
as a
coming back.
perfect human and a perfect parent to have your child stolen. You know, it's like saying what you have to live some kind of
also-
perfect existence.
The reason why I mentioned it is because leaving your kids in the hotel room and going down and having lunch across dinner across the way on holiday, that was fairly normal for the kids of my generation. Something that parents would do.
Well, until Maddie
We are following
disappeared.
more
Yeah,
breaking news.
and then it's
after
suddenly, the most
Gastonia
irresponsible
police
parents of all time. How dare they leave them in
Parents
the
of
hotel
a
room?
7-year-old in
Yeah.
Gastonia
I
who
honestly
was
have
hit
never
and
heard of
killed
it.
while crossing the street early.
What, you never
Like,
heard
when
of
I was
parents
a
leaving their
kid,
kids?
When I was a kid, not at night. We were not left at night. We were never left at night. Like my mom had to work, so I was what you would call a latchkey kid. And
So you
I
walked
had to-
home from school on your own
Yes.
and let yourself into the house.
Yes. But at night, I was never left alone. My mom
And so
did not go
now,
out.
how old were you when you were a latchkey kid? How old were you when you were coming
I
home on
started
your own?
being a latchkey kid. I think it was about 9 or 10.
Right. So in America now, if you were caught going on the way home, your parents would be put in jail for neglect if anything
That's
happened to
crazy.
you on
No,
the way home.
I agree. That story is crazy. That's nuts.
You keep saying in America, it's state by state.
In North Carolina. by the way.
In some place
There you go.
in the bad place.
It's not everywhere.
It's
put
the
the
this
judge
is
put
the
a-
bad place.
They just put a bail bond
Involuntary
on them of-
involuntary manslaughter is what they charge them with, and neglect.
Yeah.
Mikey,
And they put a bail bond on them of $1.5 million.
And they're also a
That's
mixed race
nuts.
couple. I think that might have something to do with it.
Yeah, it was a black kid.
Probably.
That's why. Because the kid's black. That's why they're gonna lock up the parents. So now this old, I'm gonna guess white person is not in trouble because it's a black kid. Who cares?
Uh,
Who fucking cares? Am I right?
yeah.
Fuck 'em.
76-year-old woman, apparently. It doesn't say. Obviously, it doesn't tell us what color she was.
Because she was white.
She
If
was
there was
white.
if there was black,
Consumed.
If she was
you know what
another
I'm
color,
saying?
it'd say.
It's funny. Whenever the motherfucker's white, no picture
It never gets
available.
mentioned.
We couldn't find a picture available before this broadcast. It's like, oh, I bet you couldn't.
That was
I
that
bet
was
you
like
couldn't.
another weird argument that was happening over the Liverpool thing. These right wingers would say, "Oh, well, they're not mentioning the color of the assailant." It's like because they were white.
Because he's
Yeah.
white. That's why we didn't do
Like
that.
I'm not talking- they're not. Well, they're not going to mention the color.
They need
this
to.
time, are they? Well, no, they're not. He's white.
Say it loud, and so that people can stop festering like little Nigel Farages bubbling under the surface, making up fucking conspiracy
Yeah,
conspiracy
but
theories
now
about people.
Tommy Robinson's out, isn't he, this week?
Oh,
Yeah,
well, he
he's
got
grown a
kicked out
beard.
of a restaurant yesterday, and
Did he?
Yeah.
that was a whole call-in on LBC earlier. Is it okay to kick someone out of a restaurant because of their beliefs? What if
Yes.
they're a fucking massive racist and my foreign workers have to serve them food? Yes,
Yes,
you kick
of
them
course.
out. Fuck
It's
that
also
guy.
it's a private restaurant as well, so
Fuck that
off
guy.
off my property, basically.
I'm gonna mute them for a second. I'm sorry to hear about that, Sharon.
Serving the racist Islamophobe. If J.K. Rowling walks into my restaurant and I got trans waitresses and waiters,
She's out.
is she gonna eat at my restaurant? Fuck no, she's not. She's going somewhere else.
I'd
Ian,
make her use the men's toilet first, though.
Yeah.
thanks very much to Ian McKenna for the super chat. So the mushroom mystery, guilty or innocent? Well, I don't know. I'm not part of the fucking the jury. This is a woman in Australia who poisoned half of her estranged family with mushrooms. and
No
she cooked-
way.
She cooked up a meal for them and served it to them. This is straight out of an Agatha Christie mystery.
I'll tell
isn't
you,
it?
when you hear stories about people being poisoned, it really does my head in. Like it weirds me out. This the premeditation of that is astounding.
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you literally prepare this thing.
And it's-
That's
I think she
It's
filmed herself.
incredibly
I think she
difficult.
filmed herself fucking preparing it, and then she's
It's
not
really,
really.
it's really difficult to
That's
work out exactly the
madness.
quantity of mushrooms you need to kill each individual member of your family. I find. Oh,
But like she denies using
take
a
that out in
fake
post, Mike.
cancer diagnosis to lure her estranged husband's relatives to a meal where they were served death cap mushrooms.
That's why I don't need mushrooms. They're nasty and
she's
might
been-
kill you.
She's been accused of murdering 3 of her estranged husband's relatives with poisonous death cap mushrooms, and yeah.
She
what gets
knew
you to the
exactly
point
what she
in
was
life that
doing.
you want to kill that many people in your family?
She
What?
knew what she was doing.
I know what it was.
Oh, the
It was a.
premeditation of
How
It was
is she
a. It
speaking
was
of-
a. Come on, you gotta let me get the joke out.
that.
It was a fiery game of Uno, and if you play, where you can stack the draw 4s. If they went around that circle 15 times, it gave her 67 cards.
Mushrooms.
Mushrooms for everybody. You're all getting mushrooms.
Yeah. In my house,
think
it would be Monopoly. That would.
Yeah, like all y'all had to put on
There
hotels
is-
right as I landed. Okay. Okay.
I think there's a rule in Uno that if you hit a number of cards, I think it's like 24 cards in your hand, you're out the game. I'm sure
Yeah,
there's a
we didn't
rule
read that part of the rules. Like,
Yeah.
I was sitting
Um,
there like,
apparently,
God damn it!
it
Let me
is-
get my
it's-
green.
Mikey just killed all of his family.
Let me,
So
let
this
me
woman
get my
in
green
Australia-
pile. Hold on.
This woman in Australia, Evan Patterson, she's defending herself.
That's a great idea.
And
that-
she
that
said that she
screams guilty more than that.
accidentally included foraged mushrooms into the food that she served.
She's accidentally going to be in jail forever.
It's not an accident. It's literally not an-
We accidentally
She
found
is
you
it.
guilty.
Did she eat any of it? No.
She wasn't
Yes, she
hungry.
did. No, she did. She had to puke. She made herself sick, like in Breaking Bad.
So she knew what was going
Oh,
on.
she pulled the Gustavo Fring, where he
She
sat
did,
there,
she
he drank the
did.
tequila with everybody, and then he very meticulously took off the jacket, folded it, undid his
Yeah.
tie, sat it on the side, and puked the goddamn poison up as fast, as violently as possible. God, I love that
Do you
show.
know what though?
That is
If
such
you're
a show.
inviting your ex-husband's relatives around for dinner,
Oh hell no!
would you just accidentally go? You know what? I might put some of those
Oops.
mushrooms in.
Days.
I go to McDonald's
Like of
before
all
I
the
go.
things you could serve them, the mushrooms. I believe they could be toxic and deadly. I mean,
Yeah.
Oopsie daisy.
I'll eat
Oopsie
something
daisy.
out of a can, please.
Yeah.
Something sealed, por favor, or on the grill.
I think, look, all things being equal, if it was like a mum and she was married and she had 2 kids and the husband had died and the kids had died and she was distraught and she nearly died, she was on a fucking ICU for fucking 6 weeks or something, having her stomach pumped. Yeah, okay, maybe she made a mistake, but fuck off. Just like she told them that she
knowing.
had cancer, which she doesn't, in order to get them to come round for a meal,
After
and then she
hours of
served them
being
up
on-
death on a plate. So yeah,
Literally that.
is she guilty or innocent? I don't want to
Guilty. I think
disrupt the
guilty.
case, but
God.
you know, it looks like it.
Yeah,
Looks
it's pretty obvious.
like.
Ridiculous. Come on.
Did you
Back to
Did you see,
talking
by the way,
about it.
just to go back to the AI thing quickly, Mikey, the story at the beginning of the week that was weird coming from Trump was that he retweet somebody who said that Biden had been replaced by 7 clones or robots.
Lord, he
It just
didn't say
amazes me how
that,
quickly
did
we
he?
forget
Oh.
the bullshit that came out on like Tuesday, basically, where he
Because-
essentially said that Biden died 2 years ago and was replaced by 7 robots and bioclones.
And that's why it
Like-
was dumb and old and falling down the stairs because it was a robot. Pick
Because it was
a
one of
struggle.
Elon's, I imagine.
Pick
It's-
a struggle. Is he old or is he a robot? He can't be an old robot. Think, man.
We replaced him with a really shit robot.
Why would they do
But then
that? They
again,
just leave a regular one.
Maybe this is why he's fallen out with Musk, because he found out Musk made the robots and they were shit. I
He's
don't know.
such a stupid
Blue
fucking old
Badger.
man.
Blue Badger 88 saying Graham, she had a separate plate with a different pattern print, so she could easily separately serve her
Oh,
for her own.
good lord.
Ooh.
It was a plan.
You know when you're talking about
Premeditated.
Biden being replaced by a fucking robot, right? This still stings for me because this was 25 years ago. I was on holiday with a few friends in Spain, and we had like climbed up a fucking mountain or somewhere in the Sierra Nevada mountains, and we were sitting there looking down over the valley or whatever, and we're just having a chat, me and my mates, and one of them goes, "You know, the Queen Mum's dead." This was in like 2000, so
Yeah.
she didn't die till 2002, right? The Queen Mum's dead. And we're like, oh, really? What makes you think that? Well, my mum's got a friend who's a barrister, right? And she reckons that the Queen Mum died just before Christmas. This was over New Year. The Queen Mum died. And the BBC said that they don't want to tell anyone because they didn't want to stop the scheduled films that were going to be on the BBC on Christmas Day.
Lord.
And I'm sitting
Flow's going
there
to be on.
going,
Wallace and Gromit.
that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my fucking life. To which all three of them turn on me and are like, "Oh, fucking Graham, you don't believe anything, do you? Unless you heard it first." And I'm like, "No, I don't believe stuff that's clearly bullshit." Because like the BBC do not control every single news outlet in the world.
Yes, they do.
I'm sorry, but do Reuters, do the Associated Press, the French Associated Press, do they not give a fuck? Do they not get told?
They
what's
wait
going
for
on?
they get their marching orders from the BBC. I saw that in an article on Facebook.
So anyway, and then one of the others said, "Well, I've got a friend of a friend story," and this was about Gorbachev, right? Mikhail Gorbachev, the last leader of the Soviet Union, right?
Yeah.
Mikhail Gorbachev apparently died in the 80s, right? And their friend of a friend met his double,
Oh.
who was doubling for him from the 80s onwards, right? And I'm sitting there, I've just graduated with a fucking history and politics degree, and I'm having to listen to this. I'm like, so an actor pretending to be the leader of the USSR, he's the person who brought in Glasnost and Perestroika.
That
Correct.
explains
And
a
they
lot,
were like,
actually.
yeah.
I've not heard this. Yeah.
And I was like, and he's still around today doing interviews with Clive Thingy on the TV. Yeah. And I went, that's fucking bullshit. And again, Graham, oh, you don't believe anything unless you hear it first. I'm like, ugh. And it's so frustrating to talk to people who think of themselves as intelligent human beings, just parroting some shit that some dickheads told them in a pub, and they're going, no, it's absolutely true. And it's the same thing Trump does.
They're
It's like, oh, he's
adamant.
died and there's 7 people replacing him. Why?
the-
Why would they do this?
The adamant ignorance is strange because it used to be rare that you'd run into somebody like that, but they're all just like doing it as a fad now. Like, how dumb can I be? I believe
it's a way of
in
trolling. It's a way of trolling the libs. It's a way of triggering the libs to go, well, that's bullshit. And they're like, well, how do you know? You
like
know?
the flat earther
do you think
gotcha
there's
bullshit. But there's a
Yeah.
lady in Louisiana. She's in the Louisiana State Senate. She is going up there. She went up to the floor on the microphone and said she wants to put in a provision in the law to stop airliners from putting chemicals in the air. And they said, okay, what chemicals is it? She's like, some of them are really long. I can't
Chemtrails.
say them. And then like there's some
The
aluminums.
chemtrails. Yeah, she thinks
And
chemtrails are real.
like she doesn't even know. Like this is a grown ass woman being recorded in front of 100 other grown motherfuckers, and they are sitting there cackling like, so what else did they put in the air? Yeah, you can see them. I can see them. Okay, how do I see them? I see them when I drive from my house to the Capitol for the meetings, and I see the lines. Bitch, you live in Louisiana. It's humid as dog shit. As soon as you get up a certain way, it's cold. So you get contrails. This is fucking 6th grade earth science. But this is a 50-year-old
one of the
woman.
problems with that, with a lot of all these stories, I think, is that like Hitler had doubles, Putin supposedly has doubles to go anywhere dangerous outside of the Kremlin because he doesn't like to leave the Kremlin in particular. So there are genuine historic stories about these things happening, and the kings used to do the same thing. It's like, I can't remember the fairy tale that involves the swapping of a king with a peasant, but that's based on a true story. That
The
a king
Prince
used to
and the
do that.
Pauper.
There you go. All right. So there's always the basis. And the thing with the chemtrails thing is it's like after dropping mustard gas on the forests of Thailand, basically, yeah, you can understand why people might think you can drop chemicals from the sky that can cause you damage and kill you, because we did it.
Well, that's the best lies are always hidden between two truths, aren't they?
She didn't know
there's
that.
always something. There is a kernel of truth in there, and then it just becomes that maybe they're doing that to us all the time.
Do you
want to
know what? Do you want to know what chemicals all of the airliners are putting out?
Well, it's normally water.
Carbon.
Yeah,
they have
carbon
exhaust.
water.
They're burning gasoline. They're burning jet fuel.
Yeah.
So that's the chemicals that are in the air that are bad. Dumb ass.
Climate change.
But NOAA is putting they're putting the chemicals in the air to cool the planet, and it's making everybody sick.
Obviously.
Idiot.
It's like on a cold day here in England when you breathe out.
No.
And you get like vapor.
No, that's a chemtrail.
That's a chemtrail.
That's a chemtrail
coming out of your mouth.
Or when the little kids have the pencil outside of school and they smoke smoke the pencil.
It's your soul. It's your spirit. It's your ghosts.
Your essence.
You gotta suck it back in.
Your essence.
No, just shit. I'm losing my essence on a cold day because that's what happens on a cold day.
Your virtue.
You know what? It's not as bad as the woman that stood up in front of her whole constituency and said, well, you know, with the cuts of Medicaid, I mean, people die.
Oh, we're all going to die.
We're all going to die. We're all going to die.
And then she doubled down. Then she made a video in a graveyard.
She made a video
started off
saying,
looking
I'm
like
sorry
an
that
apology.
People are going to die. She doubled
I'm sorry
down.
that some of my constituents weren't aware that we're all going to fucking die. Everyone's going to die. Stop
what a
fucking
horrible
whinging.
bitch.
I've got a super chat.
Anyway, so why do you need health care?
I've got a super chat from Story Tiller because Teller was taken 02. It's my favorite name on here. £5 super chat. Thank you. Musk is a robot. Trump is Baron Trump from the future. The Earth is both flat and hollow, and we are all the fake aliens in Project Bluebeam. Well, that's what the Scientologists believe, isn't it? That we have the ghosts of dead aliens in us called thetans, and that's
how about this for a conspiracy theory? Let's try this on for size. Forget flat Earth, concave Earth.
Oh,
we are inside of the Earth, and then the sun is in the middle, and then it goes to different parts.
So much sense.
See now, and then the Earth spins, and that gives us gravity. It all works out physics-wise. I just don't know what the crust of the Earth would be made out of that would be able to do it. But if that material did exist, we could all just be looking in the middle, maybe.
And the stars are just in the middle.
You can see through. It's opaque.
Oh, you see through the ground.
Yes.
Stop asking questions. Do you not believe
shut
in
the,
Mikey's...
What is wrong with you? What are you?
What's wrong with you, Graham?
You some sort of NASA shill?
You're just trying to brainwash the audience.
Anything, do you?
You just refuse to believe the truth that's right in front of you. Obviously, the Earth is concave.
It says so in the Bible. The four concave corners of the Earth.
How else would a plane work? Explain that.
Before the internet, the Flat Earth Society was not a thing. Like, even when Columbus was sailing around the fucking world, they knew it was a fucking globe. They've known it was a globe for thousands of years. Because otherwise, nothing would work.
Wasn't the whole thing set up by proto-YouTubers in the 1960s who created a pamphlet about it to see if they could get people to believe it?
Yeah, it was a joke.
I'm sure that's the history of it. It was a joke.
There's a story about how many spiders climb into people's mouths while they're asleep, and that was a conspiracy theory made up by a British journalist for like the Guardian or something, just to see if they could make up a daft conspiracy theory and get enough people to believe it. And in fact, the person who told me the story about the Queen Mum being dead when she didn't die for another 2 years afterwards, she also thought that was true as well.
How did she justify the actual funeral of the Queen Mother? Was that
a spider crawled in her mouth?
Fuck off, Graham, you smug bastard. And I just went, I didn't even say anything. I just went.
Just coming back to this underlying truth in all of these things, it's kind of ridiculous that we're not able to spin a narrative about the poisons that we are spitting out into the ocean. You know, the microplastics that we're all eating every day, the processed foods that we're all eating because tobacco companies want us to. Although,
Big sugar.
Why can't we go? there really are some conspiracies out there. There's some big corporations trying to make loads of money out of you by squeezing chemicals into your children's brains, basically. Why can't we make people believe that? Because it's true, basically.
They don't want to
And I-
believe
and
the
I-
truth. They can't handle the truth.
No.
reality
And you can't
reality
see it.
dealing with reality on reality's terms is not an inherent trait. Like, we are engineered to believe things. We want supernatural things to be real. We want things to be in a better light than what they are
Because
a
we know
lot
they're
of times.
not.
Right.
Because deep down we know they're not, and it's quite reassuring to know actually they're not. Because look, I've met a lot of religious people in my life, and I don't believe that any of them are truly religious. I've got to say that, and they'll probably hate me for saying that and say, no, fuck off, I really believe. But the reality is, if there was a real Christian out there who really, really believed the stuff they read in the Bible, one, they'll be tremendously confused because there's a lot of conflicting things it says in the Bible. But two, they would live their life in a very, very different way.
Very true.
They still wear seatbelts.
Yeah. Well, sometimes they wear seatbelts.
Oh,
Sometimes they don't.
I actually know people that believe that wearing seatbelt is more detrimental
Yes.
than wearing
Those
one
people don't last
than
long.
not wearing one.
This happened, Scott. You're right. When they brought in laws to make seatbelt wearing compulsory, there were people who kicked back against it. In the US, there's places where you'd have to wear a fucking crash helmet when you're riding a motorbike, which is the maddest thing in the world. I think America's like the only country apart from, I don't know, Uganda,
Well,
where you're actually allowed
ride
to
people
ride around without a
ride
helmet.
push bikes in this country without wearing a helmet. They think that it's more detrimental to wear a helmet. You can actually get more injured by wearing a helmet if you crash off a push bike than you do by not wearing a helmet. Your likelihood of getting into an accident is apparently less if you don't wear a helmet.
This is what people believe.
Yeah.
It's not what you believe.
Not what you
Just
believe.
to be clear, basically.
No, I don't believe that.
Oh, thank God for that. I was going to say, what the
Yeah,
fuck have you been
the
smoking?
mic like cut out for a
Actually,
second, and I was
had
like,
people I had a whole debate about it on my Facebook once because I was like, why don't cyclists wear helmets? And there were people literally arguing with me saying it is more dangerous and statistically more likely for you to not get in an accident without a helmet on because drivers will be more careful around you.
Bullshit.
Yeah, sure.
That's what they
Sure
say.
they will.
So I was like, you are deluded. You're absolutely
But it's
deluded.
we've got hire bikes, whatever they're called. I don't want to call them Boris bikes, but that's what they ended up with the name of, didn't they? Lime bikes and things
The
around
line
here.
bikes,
Yeah, in Brighton they're barrel bikes, but there's no helmets with them.
No.
All right, so tourists get on these things. They've not ridden a bike in years, and they
no
just
idea what they're
wobble
doing.
around all of our streets and whatever, and fall off. And
it's like
hurt their
riding a
heads.
bike. Oh.
Yeah.
Jenny Robinson has dropped a £5 super chat in the fund. Thank you so much, Jenny. Check out Jimmy Kimmel, Down the Rabbit Hole. You'll be amazed at the truth. Laughing face. It's it's weird. It's a weird world that we live in. where
Jimmy
people
Kimmel
believe
used
what
to Jimmy Kimmel used to be one of my favorite nighttime people because he always had the good bands on.
they want.
He started getting like more like post-hardcore, like Senses Fail was on there, and I was like, yo, cool. Oh, he's got good music. Taking Back Sunday, and I was like, all right, I like you, Jimmy.
Good stuff. So has anyone got any more stories before we wrap up from the week that we haven't sort of reported on? Any mad shit? Have you seen there's this you heard about this curry house that's been forced to close because it smells of curry? I wish I was making this up.
I mean, you may as well because it's.
Tell
it's
me, I
fine.
gotta know about this now.
Cinnamon's restaurant in Wheatley,
Only
Oxfordshire.
everything.
It's been operated for over 20 years. When there was a complaint made to South Oxfordshire District Council about the curry odours emanating from the restaurant in 2021. So environmental health officers
Wonder why.
visited and upheld the complaint, and they had to spend £35,000 putting in a new extractor fan to combat the odour. However, another complaint was made, and the curry house was served with an abatement notice, which deemed the Cinnamon's new ventilation system to be defective and unable to afford the cost of a new system, which will be in the region of £50,000. They were taken to court and forced to pay a £25,000 fine after pleading guilty. And despite all the funds spent, the council issued a further abatement notice in May this year.
There's
it's made. They've closed in mid-June.
Unreal.
They're closing in mid-June, and they've made 10 people unemployed because the curry restaurant smelled of curry.
They abandoned a ship out in the ocean. Thank you, Billy, for letting me know about this. Ship abandoned off Alaska after electric cars on board catch fire. Yep, they're out of there. They fucking helicoptered out and just left it. Well, that's cool.
There's 3,000 cars on that, and only 800 are electric. But God, they burn. Wow, my God, they burn. Leave a big hole in the road where they used to be. But yeah,
The crabs.
that's what happens. That's why you should make all your cars in America, mate, and then charge like I don't know $70,000 each for them for a little Pinto, little electric Pinto, $75,000, please.
Their smallest car, like in 2018, like the Chevy Spark, like the tiniest little thing that they have, was like 38 grand. I'm like, you have lost your fucking mind. That is an $11,000 car, brand new. If you're lucky, you need to calm down. Like this little greedflation y'all got going on. Guess what, motherfucker? We still ain't got the money that y'all are trying to charge us. So you will be coming down on the prices. Every single car dealership around here is filled with cars, and they have been since COVID.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep, they can't
We
sell
got
them.
another super chat come in from Samusu86. Thank you very much to you for the 10 Polish zloty. That's quite exciting.
All
Okay,
these
some
people
Polish
keep paying you in zlotys.
Dip me in chocolate and throw me to the slotties. There's a who is it? There's a country that's converting to the euro, and there was a fight in Parliament this week. Did anyone see this?
Bulgaria, I think it was.
Yeah, fucking fight
I
in
love that.
Parliament.
All part-
Like a proper punch up in Parliament over whether they should adopt the euro.
Hey,
or
I'm
not.
voting for the dude who won the fight.
There's so many countries where they literally like will fight each other in Parliament. I'm waiting for that to happen here.
Yeah.
We got something.
Kemi
some-
versus
real quick, something very beautiful here from One Angry Pagan. One of the most beautiful things about our species is our capacity for wonder and curiosity at the universe around us. It's such a shame this is lost on so many. Well said, One Angry Pagan.
true,
Well said.
And to further that, I hate the idea that this isn't enough. This world is fucking amazing. This universe is fucking amazing. There are wonders to be found every minute of every day of every year of your life on this planet, and you don't have long here. And if this isn't enough, I don't know what is going to sate your appetite for curiosity or exploration or interest or learning, education or anything. I don't understand why this isn't enough. We've got a fucking universe out there. We've got a galaxy of 100 billion stars, and there's 100 billion galaxies. Is it not enough? Is this not enough? What more do you want? You've got deserts, you've got jungles, you've got pasture lands, you've got an entire side of our planet that's just ocean. What more do you? Mountains and valleys and caves and swamps in Yorkshire with cardboard boxes in where I grew up. You know, to me, this is enough. Thank you. Thank you.
The Schmidt Ocean Institute is they live stream a few times a week. They are currently mapping the seafloor, and they find new critters all the time. So if you are lacking for wonder, it's called the Schmidt Ocean Institute. They have a little submersible, and he's just chugging along, and they're mapping the sea. Because to this day, we still don't even have a map of the seafloor, which is changing constantly, and we have no idea what's going on down there.
We have a better
proves
map
a
of
lot,
Mars, don't we, than we do
Yep.
the seafloor.
Yeah. It's easier to map Mars.
I think we're like, I think we're
Red
at like
bit, red
18.
bit,
I think they're at like 18%, 20% of the seafloor.
Do you know what though? With these cuts that Trump's bringing in for NASA, like a lot of these explorations and these projects that go on for 20, 30 years, they're going to be just cut. They're going to be stopped. Like these probes they've put out to Io, to Europa, to Mars, they're just going to be stopped.
Yeah.
Because if he turns off the thing and we can't turn the cameras on because, we've been locked out of the building, and then the fucking probe gets there and no one sees what happens.
Yeah.
Oh
Well, that'll
my
be the
God.
moment that we discover alien life, won't it? Basically.
There's fucking fish down there.
Just
We just don't
just
even
as we
fucking
turn
see
off
it.
all the satellites, all
Europa,
the fish turn up in
Europa is the
Mars.
best candidate for alien life.
There
by
could
a
be
mile.
little sluggies.
Although I want to see,
Sluggies.
I want to see Titan's alien life swimming around in gasoline, pools of gasoline.
Yeah, the
basically.
methane
Could
lakes.
happen.
lakes,
Yeah.
lakes and like a waterfall of methane is crazy.
And all the rocks are made of water, but ice water, but
Yeah.
they're as hard as rocks on this planet.
And Enceladus
And-
has
theory-
the 120-mile jets just spraying could be life into space. Who knows?
But if we
got to go get
if we
some of
could,
that ice.
If we could build a spacesuit that would allow us to stand on the surface of Triton, and it's got enough gravity for us to do that, then you could just flap your arms and fly, because the atmosphere is so dense
so
that you
thick.
could swim in it, basically.
Oh man, that's awesome.
I would be Goku.
Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Balls. It's spelled Dragon Balls with a Z. Did no one notice that? Anyway, Storyteller, because
show.
Teller was taken 0-2. Thank you very much for the super chat. Parliament should be decided with oil wrestling. No. I do not want to see Boris Johnson oil wrestling Rishi Sunak for who gets to be leader of the Tory party.
Hysterical. Let's do it.
Scott, do you have Blue Sky or Twitter? McKinnon's asking for it.
I do have Blue Sky, yeah.
He's asking for your handle in the chat.
TGA 1976.
So if you could just type that in the chat.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
I could actually.
It's your boyfriend. You type it. I already got him on Blue Sky.
I asked him for nudes earlier.
Don't
there you
send
go.
them on Blue Sky. Try to, DM at least.
Oh, we
There you go,
the
Scott.
Bin
I've
podcast
got-
has a Blue
I've
Sky.
made it
If you guys
come
want to
up on
follow.
the screen. I'll make it a bit bigger for people so they can see it. It's
If,
TGA 1976. There you go, Scott.
Bin-
I've got your name up on the screen.
Oh, cheers, man. I'm putting it in there anyway.
We had another one.
nice.
We had another super chat from Samusu, another 10 Polish krona. Gren Men on the Moon, VP off, gone bust. What you read? What? I don't know, mate. It's too late. It's too late to be doing cryptic
It appears
crosswords.
to have paid you in Polish and written it in Polish, as far as I can
Yeah,
tell.
excellent. Good
But,
stuff. But yeah, Europa. Europa looks like it's the best candidate for there being
That's
life.
that's the Clipper mission, the Europa Clipper.
Yes.
We're going ice
Yeah.
fishing, baby. We're going ice
But
fishing
Issa's paying-
for jellyfish slugs.
ESA's paying for half of that, aren't they? And the Japanese Space Agency. So
Yeah.
it's not a total NASA thing. But there is arguably, this is the reason that Musk has completely fallen out with Trump this week, is that Trump put the kibosh on Isaacson being the head of NASA. And Isaacson is the billionaire that had been funding SpaceX for a while, and is the guy that flew up and did the first civilian space flight in one of his ships. And he was fully behind Musk's plan to colonize Mars, and he would have cancelled all of the scientific research, all of the things pointing at Earth to find out when hurricanes might happen and whether the ocean was warming up. All of those were going to be switched off and cut down, and all of the money was going to be pumped into paying for more shitty Elon Musk rockets that can't actually get to orbit, let alone get to Mars.
We have the whole manual for how to build a Saturn V.
Yeah.
You just have to do it. It takes
Well,
a
they're now
long
too-
time, and it's very
they're now saying-
complicated. It's the most complicated
because
thing ever built, was the Saturn V rocket.
Well, if you look at the latest, I still actually quite like watching the launches of his stupid rockets, basically, but it is looking more and more like Saturn V. And they're talking about a third stage on the thing now and a capsule. So
Yeah.
in the end, he's going to build Saturn V after blowing up $190 million every time he tries not to.
He is going to OD in the next year. Like, Elon
Yeah,
and
I think so.
SpaceX are not synonymous.
Jenny Robinson, thank you very much for the £2 super chat. Parliament should be decided by the Squid Games. Yeah, I'm going with that. That's perfect.
With
Although
the cooking-
I reckon I fancy Wes Streeting's chances in a fight like that, basically. So you might end up with him as
Fancy
prime minister.
watching him die. No,
Remember that tug of war?
say that.
I was going to say,
Steady, Scott.
I was going to say, Mikey,
on.
you mentioned about the Republicans being like, Democrats being dead old, and you asked us whether it's like that here. It actually is. The House of Lords, the Labour government have just brought in a rule saying if you're over the age of 80, you can't be a lord anymore. And there was a lot of screaming and shouting about this, but absolutely, abso-fucking-lutely. I think it should be
Too
65.
right.
I think it should be 65.
What's an 80-year-old gonna do?
No, just that you've lived your life. Go and have fun. You don't be doing office work. You don't be turning up and sitting down listening to shit.
And I know
fun.
I know I'm hyperbolic and I can come off a bit ageist. I love and value my elders, and it is not your place, job, or responsibility to hold public office past a certain age. Go off and ride off into the sunset, because what ends up happening is the world starts moving faster than you can move, and then you start to hold the younger people back, not by your own design, not by your own devices, but by the nature of things. Chuck Schumer is not agile enough on his feet to be in the position that he is. And he's a very bright young man at 70 something, but it's even at his best, you can't do it. And the most important, hold on, last sentence. The most important part about leadership is knowing when to step down.
Yeah. And this is what's happened here. The young people in this country truly struggle financially because 14 years of looking after old people, because Tories are old, so
yeah. Absolutely. We got another super chat come in. Trump doesn't want us meeting extraterrestrials. Thank you, George. And I just want to say, I agree with that. And obviously I've got a little thing that says not all boomers. But I completely appreciate that once you're of a certain age, you're right. You're holding people back. And also you're hogging the position for anyone else.
Exactly.
Because it's dead man's boots. There's only 650 seats in Parliament.
Did you?
And if 600 of them are taken by people who are like 100 years old.
Yeah.
Have you seen any of the interviews with Jacinda Ardern from New Zealand? She's got a book out, a biography, and she's done a few interviews. And a rationale for leaving the job in the end was that she just got up every morning and started to think, you know what, I don't think I can give this as much energy as it needs.
And you got to be
44.
honest. You got to be honest with yourself.
44 years old, Yeah, and she steps down on that basis. There was no scandal. There was no reason to do it at all. She'd had a baby in her first term as prime minister, and then she just went, you know what, I've got other things in my life that I need to be doing and giving energy to, and I can't give this job as much energy as it needs. So I'm going to step back.
Because there's a lot of
politicians would do that.
Because there's a lot of people depending on you to get this right the first time, to be able to pull that all-nighter, to hop on a flight and dash across the country if need be. Like 600,000 people are depending on you to be that person. And if you ain't got it, you can't just, and what it's turned into is this reflexive. And I think that's where what we were talking about earlier, that's where a lot of this splitting comes in, where people say, well, that sounds like more work. I don't want to have to do that. And then they say, well, that group's out, or they offend a group. And then now that group doesn't want to be part of the whole because they feel like they've been slighted because this person cannot physically be where they should be. They can't show support. They can't do that. So people get like, emails from staffers and they get this bull. That's not what your job is. You need to represent your people. And that means you need to get out there and you need to know them. They need to know you. But if that's not happening anymore, that's how fucking charlatans can come in here and tell you that they're going to fucking put tariffs on China and China's going to fucking pay them. That's how this happens.
Really local level, that's what all the refuck candidates in the council elections are finding out rapidly, that it's incredibly hard work, pays shit, basically, if anything, and
it's service.
And it's boring as hell.
It's service.
Boring service.
And if you're not in that like super empath, I'm all about the greater good hippy dippy type, then you're not cut out for the job. And then you can see
go on.
And then you can see that the people that are there for the money, they stick out like a sore thumb versus like Bernie's been there for 1,000 years, but no one's complaining really about Bernie's age right now because Bernie is still out there doing the work. That's the difference.
Yeah, exactly.
The rest of them are not doing that. And if you're not going to do that, David Hogg is correct. You need to go. If you're going to just sit on your ass and be a Democrat and just hold the line, go. The line's moving. If you're not moving with us, then you need to leave.
Yeah, 100.
And you should know that, and we shouldn't have to tell you.
Full Mon Music saying make a music and politics festival with like Novara or something. Use the profit to start a TV channel. It's my new message discipline. We may be squillionaires. We may not be squillionaires, but we've all got the magic. I don't want to start a TV channel because it's a waste of money. We can broadcast to more people here on the
YouTube's
internet
better.
for free. Yeah, and a TV channel costs millions and millions of pounds. I think it's just from money down a burning well. But as for a music festival, absolutely, I'll be up for that. But unfortunately, music festivals are waning, and
so the field is saturated.
No, see in the chat that they've cancelled Pride in Liverpool as well.
yes, because of JK fucking Rowling.
Was it?
Yeah, because she has gone on her mad fucking anti-trans crusade for the last 10 years, like a fucking knobhead. And as a result of that, we had the ruling by the Supreme Court in this country, which was heavily biased against trans people. They didn't listen to a single trans person in their coming to their judgment. It was just like 4 or 5 non-trans people coming to this judgment. And Barclays Bank said, okay, well, this is the new guidance from the Equalities and Human Rights Commission, which was given by a fucking transphobe in Baroness Faulkner. And as a result of that, Barclays said, no, we're going to continue on with what they want, and we're going to stop trans people from using the toilet that they want to use. As a result of that, the people who run Pride in Liverpool said, well, we can't have Barclays sponsoring our Pride event. And as a result of that, there's no fucking Pride in fucking Liverpool next fucking month because of fucking JK fucking Rowling. So yeah, any gays or lesbians out there or bisexuals
just
who
have
are, a bit anti-trans, can you go fuck yourselves?
Just have a parade. Have a parade in front of her house.
She lives up in Scotland. She doesn't live in Liverpool.
Safe to say, Brighton's
Everybody,
Pride is
everybody, ride up.
She lives in a
untouchable.
castle. She's got a moat. She's got a
Brighton's
fucking
Pride
moat.
is the biggest pride in the country.
Exactly, it's untouchable. That
It's
won't be
untouchable.
cancelled.
The stars they command now. Who's playing this year?
I don't know, actually. I haven't checked. But,
I'm going to Manchester Pride. If anyone wants to come to Manchester Pride, I'm going to be there.
I could just step out my door and go to
I'll
Brighton
be at
Pride.
London Pride.
That's going to be easier.
They just legalized fully automatic silenced weapons. I will not be going to anything.
Has that just
No
happened
thanks.
now?
What?
Has that just happened now?
What? Which part?
They've just legalized fully automatic silence weapons.
Yeah, they took all the restrictions off of them. They took the restrictions off of
Today?
the
Has
Switch.
that just happened today?
No, this was like last month.
Oh, right, okay. That's all right then. So I thought I missed something. Oh, well.
You probably talked about it already. But yeah, so suppressors, which are illegal for obvious reasons. And
What are the reasons?
well, if you're using your gun for self-defense, what the fuck do you need a suppressor for?
If you're using a gun for self-defense, why do you need a gun that can fire like 60 bullets in a minute?
Well, because the bad guy might have a gun that fires 65 bullets a minute.
Oh,
Alright.
okay.
So
Yeah. Mariah Carey is headlining Brighton Pride.
Fuck yeah.
Mariah Carey.
Get in.
I mean,
To be honest,
that is
it
big
peaked.
shit.
It peaked for me when it was Kylie.
I was there for Kylie and Britney,
There you go.
but they got
Yeah.
everyone. Fatboy Slim, Sugar Babes.
Fat Boy Slim
Oh,
is
Fat Boy-
fucking
Fat
in
Boy
heaven.
lives
Fuck,
here.
fuck.
Fat
Yeah,
Boy
he does
lives
have
here.
Yeah.
He runs a cafe in Hove.
Yeah, Lorene.
We've got Ollie Alexander playing in Manchester.
Yeah, that's nothing.
That's
the
not
23rd,
Mariah Carey, is
24th.
it?
Brighton Pride is
Mariah
one.
Carey.
Andy Bell.
Hearing protection. Case says
Maybe.
suppressors are for hearing protection. Yeah, you don't want the gun, blowing out your eardrums, right?
There you go. That's why you have
Freaking
silence.
assassins.
It's quite the lineup. It's quite the lineup. When it comes to pop and all the gayness or whatever, it's quite the lineup.
Billy Porter's on. We got Billy Porter.
Oh,
Gok One.
That's cool.
Didn't know Gok One sang, but
Well, Gok
just-
One's on the Brighton Pride list as well. He's at every Pride.
He's getting
There
everything.
does something
He's
at
just-
every-
He's got a season ticket.
Yeah, he's got a free pass to every Pride. Natalie Imbruglia is playing Brighton Pride.
Really?
And so is Will Young.
Hmm.
He's got the
What-
gold.
what day is
Ultra
Natalie?
Nate, the sugar.
What
When's
day is
Natalie playing?
What day is Natalie playing?
I'll tell you.
I saw her a couple of years ago in Durham Cathedral. She did a gig at Durham Cathedral. I've still got my Access All Areas pass. I had an Access All Areas pass to Natalie Imbruglia. I'd love to get in a time machine and give me
She's
give me
playing on
that
the
pass in the
Alien
90s.
smuggling in violation of
Excellent.
Title 8 USC
Then I am going to Pride.
1324.
That's good.
We want to
Cool.
thank President
Someday, listen,
Bukele
Fat Boy
for
Slim
agreeing to
should have
return
made
Abrego Garcia to the
Gentlemen.
United States.
Cool your
Our government
engines. It is
presented
past
El
midnight. I
Salvador
think
with
it's
an
time to
arrest
call it a night. What say you?
warrant, and they agreed to return him
that seems
to
fair.
our
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, we could go on all night if you want, or we could just
I'm
stop.
losing my voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Scott, someone said that you sound like you've been smoking 100 a day.
Yeah,
what have you been doing?
I haven't smoked in 3 years.
Just cough, clear your throat. Sorry, you guys over on the bin side. You probably. Ooh.
These
You probably-
are little tablets of hell. They're black. They're gross.
What do
So
they do?
gross.
What do they do?
They're supposed to help with my throat.
What's wrong with your throat?
I don't fucking know. It's been like this for weeks.
Do you have
shit.
acid reflux?
Yeah, or
That's what it is.
I was gonna say a really bad joke there. I don't know what it is.
I had a friend whose
Can I
voice,
be the?
I had
Can
a
I
friend,
be a grown up in the room, Scott?
Oh,
And suggest that you go to a GP.
I'm
Have you
actually
been?
thinking about it? I went
Yeah,
to
would
Boots
you-
this week.
Would you
so
do me a favor and go to your GP? Get an
Okay.
appointment.
I'll do it this week.
I had a friend whose voice, her voice was like super raspy and gravelly and all that stuff. As soon as she got her tummy fixed, her voice switched back to normal. It was very strange. Like she had such bad acid reflux and they developing an ulcer, and it was like hitting her voice box. So if you've been having bad acid reflux, and that's for all y'all,
Do you think it's the Manjaro? Manjaro.
Don't know what you said.
I didn't know about.
you're whispering
Side
and your
effect
mic
of
is already
Mounjaro.
quiet.
I am on one of the Ozempic
Oh, okay.
That's
Are you?
Mounjaro. Yeah. I've
How's
lost
that
I've lost nearly 3 stone. I'm really surprised you
Here we
guys
go.
haven't noticed this.
Of course we
Stone.
noticed. We just didn't want to say
Oh,
anything.
sorry. About 50 pounds I've lost.
Dang it.
Wow. Jesus.
Well
So
done,
why
sir.
would you want to call it a
No-
stone?
Scott,
Like this,
do you get that on the NHS or do you have to pay for it on a
I
private
pay for it
prescription?
privately. It's really expensive.
Yeah.
Really expensive. But what I pay for, I save on food.
Yeah, good point. Paula in the chat, thank you very much. And the BMA have called that Supreme Court decision biologically illiterate. You put literate, but I think you mean illiterate because that's what they said. And Phonebox Chicken says, to any trans people in the chat, I support you. It's not my business how you define yourself. I'm a straight cis guy, but you live your life. Yeah. Everyone just live your life.
Well,
As long as you're not
makes
hurting
sense.
anybody. Who are you hurting? JK fucking Rowling. She's the richest fucking author in the world.
She
Why are
doesn't
you
even
hurting her?
use public restrooms.
Yeah. Yeah. Like she doesn't have to take a
She's
piss in
ever
a
been to a public restroom in the last
Yeah.
10 years.
She's never had to take a piss in a Popeyes, has she?
she's the
yeah,
kind of person that would totally like at your house like drop a deuce. Like everyone's over, we're all having dinner, everything's nice. She's like, "Oh,
I'm
where's
not-
your
I
powder
don't care,
room?"
I'll
And then
show
she'd
her.
go in there and she just drops a log, stinks up the
Yeah.
whole downstairs, just pure
Yeah.
hatred coming
That's
out of her
me.
back end.
That's
Yeah.
me. I'll do that.
All of my
I
friends
will
know,
come
do
to
not
your
shit
house
in my
and
house.
shit.
Do not shit in my house.
Oh,
unless you
mate,
tell
mate.
me.
I had a friend in school. Every time he used to come round to someone's house to take a shit in that fucking toilet. We ended up using his surname as a synonym for like someone who did that. That was our term for someone who did that. I won't embarrass him by saying in case he's watching. Scott.
I won't get
popped-
into my current symptoms if you.
He
Scott,
pops up in the chat. It was
chat.
me.
Super Tiny in the chat is saying, no wonder you have heartburn. It's a very good point. If you're not eating as much as you were, your stomach's going to be making more acid. Because I find
no
that if
food.
I haven't eaten in a day, like I get really bad acid reflux by the end of the day. if I'm not
I
eating
know
anything.
that's kind of like a pain that comes up your
Yeah.
sort of, yeah. I haven't got that.
It doesn't have to come up though.
But I have no pain. I don't feel that acid reflux. I know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Usually I get that when I've eaten too much.
Oh, sorry. I thought when Mike said, have you got acid reflux? You said, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mike. No, I don't. No.
Okay.
No, you didn't. Yeah.
Oh,
no, you
okay.
didn't.
Sorry. I misheard you. Scott, it's my fault. I apologize.
How dare
I
I just
where's-
want Scott to. I want
where's
Scott
me
to go
little
to a
animation?
GP. Just
Yeah.
because it's gone on
No,
for.
I'm
If it's gone on
making a-
for more than a week.
I was
the
wrong and I
upset.
accept responsibility. Scott, get your ass to a GP, mate.
I'll do it
Come on.
this week.
And then
guys.
also,
I'll do it.
just so
I'll
that
give
we
you
can-
an update next week. Yeah.
Tell us,
Just
tell
so we
us.
can rub it in Mikey's face and say, and that was free. That cost you nothing.
Why does that help
Scott,
him to hurt me exactly?
How does your
Because- That's how
Sounding
the
like a
world
Tory
works.
over there, Mike. Sounding like a Tory.
Hang on. Scott, how do you get in touch with your GP? How do you get an appointment? Do you have to wait till like 8 o'clock in the morning and then you have to all ring at once, or you have to do
ring
that?
and then
Okay, so ring up beforehand and make sure you know what the recorded message sounds like. Make sure you've got a countdown timer on your internet, right? So at exactly the time it goes on, and press the button on your phone 2 seconds before, and you'll get through, and you'll be first in the queue.
You know what, guys? My GP is really good. I've been very fortunate. Yeah.
No, you live in the south, mate. You live near London. There's loads of people from other countries in the queue ahead of you. I read it in the mail.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go online and book an appointment to suit your own time.
Yeah. Even if I'm like 9th in the queue or something, you'll still get like a phone consultation.
Yeah. And it's all going to get better because the Labour Party are investing in the NHS app so that all appointments will be made via the NHS app in the future,
which I have.
Good.
Well, that's good. That's good. But obviously my partner can't use the phone, so we don't have telephone appointments. We just go in.
No, but you can do it on the app. That's the thing.
Yeah,
but
I mean, you
can
book it.
Get your appointment on the app.
I've never had a problem getting an appointment.
Or you can do it the American way.
If I can't get an appointment in the morning, you could try again in the afternoon at 3:30.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah, and then you can try to get an evening appointment.
Yeah.
Okay, so Monday, go and see your doctor.
No, I'm going. We're working.
Give you a damn good spanking
next week because we're doing an office refurbishment. So we're working from home all next week. So I'll try to get something sorted.
Just use the American method and don't get sick, no matter what. Don't get sick.
I promise you, I will never die.
Just don't do it. Don't get sick.
No,
unless it's in your holiday week. Only the week you can afford to take off for a holiday, you're allowed to get sick.
I would rather people were a bit of a hypochondriac and went to the doctor too much than too little.
I can't stress it enough, guys. You know,
well, I went to Boots and they told me to take these. They are licorice covered in peppermint oil.
I would love those. I would love those.
Mike's like, you got any extra?
I'm telling you, licorice is the solution to. I've had a tough couple of weeks. Graham will tell you, I was in after the guys came down. It's taken me 2 weeks to get myself in a position where I'm not in pain all day. And licorice, of all the fucking drugs they keep giving me, basically, forget it. I have brought pounds and pounds of licorice, and I eat all of that in the morning, and then I'm fine for the rest of the day. Scott, send them to me. I want them.
Send him the link. He's ordering his own right now.
Yeah, you probably get them from Boots. I think they have Boots in.
The only reason I'd suggest to anybody, because it's a known thing, particularly amongst men, is not going to the doctors. But if something goes on for more than a week, go to the fucking doctor.
I am usually really good about going to the doctors.
Yeah, and it's not just you, Scott. I'm saying it to everybody. You know, I thought I got piles. I didn't want to go to the doctors because I didn't want anyone looking at my ass. And then within a week, I'm in a cancer.
I've got no problem with someone looking at my ass. Loads of people look at my ass.
Yeah, we've all seen that.
Everyone's seen my ass.
Old hat, Scott's ass.
It's not just Mike who's had this. I know family members and friends and stuff who left it too late to go to the fucking doctors. Go to the fucking doctors.
Important.
Yeah, especially if it's something embarrassing, because. Do you know what I mean? Like,
because it's funny as well.
Yeah, it's funny.
Gives you a joke.
And Stephen Hardy in the chat, I've conjectured that Scientology is influenced by Gnosticism. This analog is not really discernible and bears some correlation. At the heart of Gnosticism, there is Manichaeism. What are you talking about, Stephen? You talking about some deep philosophy here?
Something.
Manichaeism.
See next post. There's a second part to it.
Oh no! Don't give me words I can't read.
Oh, we're gonna go now. Sorry about this.
Bye. So yeah, have we wrapped up? Is there anything else that we need to mention? The drone attack, the audacious drone attack on Russia.
Spider's web.
Fucking awesome. Operation Spider's Web. Could it happen here? Could the Russians get a load of drones into the UK?
No, the Russians couldn't. The Ukrainians. We should be worried about the Ukrainians. You know,
I don't want them to turn on us.
In 10 years' time, they're going to be the dominant military force in Europe.
Did anyone see the thing about the guy who was masterminded it?
The DJ.
Yeah, he's a DJ.
The DJ with all the tattoos.
Tats and,
this cool-looking motherfucker whose girlfriend's like.
Very cool.
Isn't his
The
girlfriend
best
like a
bit,
model?
the best possible bit of it is recruiting Russian drivers to drive these lorries to remote locations near air bases and just saying it's a art installation or something that we're doing.
He's super
basically, and
cool,
these
man.
idiots did it. Genius.
He's so
So
cool.
this-
His riz was out of control. His aura. How could I say no? I'm
There is a
And,
Netflix movie to be
Timo
made out of that
Pfeiffer.
story, isn't there?
Yeah, alleged spiderweb mastermind. Yeah, he's
Genius.
the genius.
The only problem is
behind it.
you can't really do it twice easily, can you? Russia's going to be inspecting every lorry in the country now for the next 6 months. So.
And that's why you
Well, are
send
they?
it in.
They're going to be paid to do that, but are they actually going to do it?
Probably
Like,
not. Yeah, exactly.
You know, this is the thing that you have a very, very corrupt country. Does anything get done properly? Does it?
No.
Yeah, where corruption is endemic. But yeah,
I just want to see what his next idea is. It's genius, I think.
yeah, absolutely audacious. And again, like no civilians were killed in this operation.
And they blew the bridge up as well with a
Yeah.
Submersible drone.
divers,
But
submersible
also
and divers.
these a lot of the planes that they blew up were absolutely irreplaceable. Like they
Yeah.
were built in the 50s. They don't have the parts. They don't have the spare parts. They don't have the production line or anything. They can't make more of these things.
I'm sure Trump will send them some. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And some of them were nuclear bombers. Some of them were capable of dropping nuclear bombs.
Yeah, they reckon they've taken out 4%, 5% of the capability, haven't they, of dropping nuclear weapons?
Not that any of their nuclear weapons still work.
No.
But yeah, Artem, this guy's name was. The real life Q. Do pay attention, 007. That's my lunch. So dude, what a dude. And he's a Ukrainian. And he worked as an entrepreneur before setting up this very audacious attack.
There is, if nobody's written the Netflix movie, we should quickly write it on AI and pitch it, I think.
AI, you can't write for shit though.
No, I know.
It's so
but-
bad. It's so bad.
Yeah, but Netflix just use their AI to read it, so it doesn't matter, does it?
I don't know if it's just a me thing. It's just like AI almost feels like a slur. It's like anti-human to me now.
Yeah.
Every time I hear it, I'm just like, ugh.
I think you're right. I think we'll judge it quite differently in the future. We'll see it in a different way, but we don't know how society's going to adapt to it.
I mean, just the most benevolent people ever are the people behind it. What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, exactly.
Svax says, do you know we have a chicken pox vaccine now? I just recently found out. I didn't know that.
Oh.
Yeah, get rid of it. And the tires help burn them down. Yeah, they put tires on them. Apparently to confuse AI or something. That was the reason given, that it was to confuse. But that doesn't make any sense to me. What would they confuse? I don't know.
I suppose it would break up the shape a bit, wouldn't it? But
Would it though? Because
we've talked so long that Stephen Hardy has given us part 2 of his existential.
do you want to read it? Because I'm not going to be able to say
No, I
that
don't.
word before public artisan.
All right. So, is the idea that the soul is superior to the physical world, the latter having been created by the
Demiurge.
the demiurge, public artisan, and that
Probably
the
pronounced that
soul
wrong.
struggles to free itself from the domain of the demiurge.
I bet the demiurge
thanks,
is not
Stephen.
pronounced that way. I bet it's the demurge or something like that.
Yeah.
Simply Secular Dave in the chat is reminding everyone, don't miss DaveCon 2025 for Daves, Davids, and Dave enthusiasts. Try the new Dave Simulator. Sarah Davies, I think you are sired in as well. You may also any Daves and Dave adjacents.
Right, I'm really got to wind this up because I'm falling asleep. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, me too.
He's bored.
You're super interesting to me
I'm
too,
falling
Graham.
asleep, and I've just had a hell of a week, and Saturday's the only day that I can actually sleep till 9 o'clock. So I just want to do that. But I still got to get up because
I've got my grandson coming this weekend, so I am super excited.
I'm going to the zoo.
excellent. How old's your grandkid?
He's 3, and
bless him.
the last time he came here, he was 3 months.
Oh,
The last time he came to
so
Brighton.
being
so-
real grown up.
Yeah,
You
we
saw him at the
actually
wedding,
going-
didn't you? You saw him at the wedding a couple of months ago.
Yeah, I see him every 3 months or so, but he's not been to Brighton for 3 years. So yeah, we get to do Seaside Town with a 3-year-old.
Go to the,
Go to the penny arcades, like
Push
I
some
always
pennies.
take toddlers.
push some pennies.
Yeah. I took you in
As-
Tam to the penny arcades.
I know, and all three of us are like, we're three ADHD people walking into a penny arcade. There's all this stimulation everywhere. And we're like, we've got to get out, we've got to get out, we've got to get out.
Are we done now?
Let me out. We got out the other side and then just
Love
sat
the
there.
penny arcade. Though. It's much fun.
What's it called? Defragging? What's it called? Decompressing. We had to sit there
Decompressing.
decompressing
Yeah.
for a little bit.
Graham's a
It
computer.
is very
Graham's
sen-
a
it is very
Graham's
sensory,
Graham's been replaced by a robot. That's why I said defragging, because like you
Defrag the
Yeah.
hard
you gotta
drive.
defrag the hard drive. That's what he meant, because he's a clone. He's a clone.
That's what he does on a Saturday.
He's an
just defrags.
Amazon
Spend the whole
clone.
night defragging the hard drive.
Just plug. Can you imagine?
Let's
That would
let him
be
end
fun.
this. Graham wants to go to bed. Let's let him end
I want to
this.
go to bed. Okay, let's just say thank you so much to my
And everybody go
co-hosts,
watch
Mike
Joe
Diggs, Mikey
Rogan.
Famine, Scott Williams. I have been Graham Hughes. You have been awesome. Thank you for watching. Give us a like on the way out if you are so minded. If you liked it, even if you didn't, just give us a like.
Do it anyway.
And I'll be back on Sunday at 9 o'clock for the Sunday service. And until then, I'll say thank you so much for watching. Thanks for the chats. Thanks so much for the super chats. And I'll say hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.
Bye.
everybody.
Okay, we're off on my channel. Are we still on the?
Yes.
Are we still on the bin?
We're still on the bin. Good night, socialites. That's funny. Good night to all the Binster crew. Yes. Good night, everybody. You guys have fun.
Night.
I'm gonna spend a nice weekend with the family. Get to hang out with my homie, who is not well, but he's getting better. So our kids are gonna go enjoy the zoo, and I will be taking pictures of the okapi, the best animal ever. So until then, bye.
Well, I did this. Why can't you?